Tech Natural is insane. We bring it proper like cover helicopter like loud like a chopper bite. Lock still the watertight. These Cindy Lopper no skill, just a lot of height. Hit them with a boxer's right. That make them drop the mic. We bring it proper like cover helicopter like loud like a chopper bite. Lock still the watertight. These Cindy Lopper no skill, just a lot of height. Hit them with a boxer's right. That make them drop the mic. We drop a hot one, pumping like a shotgun. Number one spot, they're both we got a lock, son. The top the key, my thoughts run deep. Approximately a clock speed, Mach 3, hyper velocity sound. Tear it up and break it down. Well, wait later, they might as well hate us now. So we built a foundation on solid ground. Cause haters huff and puff, try to blow us down. We're not slowing down, in fact, we getting quicker. We used to flow ill, now we diagnose sicker. Taking natural, yeah, we elevated. So far ahead of the game, now we feeling segregated. Cause competition, yeah, we got them frustrated. Cause they a duplicate, we custom made it spit. Yo, they got hip hop suffocated. It can't breathe, we just here to be suffocated. We bring it proper like cover helicopter like loud like a chopper bite. Lock still the watertight. These Cindy Lopper no skill, just a lot of height. Hit them with a boxer's right. That make them drop the mic. We bring it proper like cover helicopter like loud like a chopper bite. Lock still the watertight. These Cindy Lopper no skill, just a lot of height. Hit them with a boxer's right. That make them drop the mic. Detecting supernatural, launching air strikes. From the intro, it ain't a fair fight. No. Just when you thought you were prepared, right? Bringing skills short like Frodo's a no-no, like a butter knife, but don't cut it. Mediocre MC still got the game flooded. It's overflow from the engine to the carburetor. We got them sweating, breathing heavy like Darth Vader. Now they're trying to settle quick like an arbitrator. By talking smooth like a phone sex operator. I bite the style, but it has no flavor. We're here to stay, so hate us now or hate us later. Still kick the data with soul like Taylor. So pack it in and abort to the layer. Cause hiding out's the only thing that'll save ya from the wrath of the warpath. If you don't know the half, it's a two fast, do the math. We bring it proper like cover helicopter like loud like a chopper bite. Lock still the watertight. These Cindy Lopper no skill, just a lot of height. Hit them with a boxer's right. That make them drop the mic. We bring it proper like cover helicopter like loud like a chopper bite. Lock still the watertight. These Cindy Lopper no skill, just a lot of height. Hit them with a boxer's right. That make them drop the mic. We bring it proper like cover helicopter like loud like a chopper bite. Lock still the watertight. These Cindy Lopper no skill, just a lot of height. Hit them with a boxer's right. That make them drop the mic. We bring it proper like cover helicopter like loud like a chopper bite. Lock still the watertight. These Cindy Lopper no skill, just a lot of height. Hit them with a boxer's right. That make them drop the mic. Bring it proper like, yeah, we bring it proper like. Bring it proper like, yeah, we bring it proper like. Bring it proper like, yeah, we bring it proper like. Tech Natural, yeah, we bring it proper like. 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 Yeah, we bring it proper like.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for checking up the show. I just had to do something a little different. It was the last show of 2020. That song that you guys heard was from my cousin who passed away like almost 2 or 3 years ago. He killed himself. I figured I'd put that song on there to represent, show the love for the final days of this year. This year has been rough, but I do appreciate everybody that's come and checked it out. And I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to bring on the panel one at a time. Had a few special guests I wanted to come in. One came. We'll see if the other ones can come in for the rest of the night. But first, I'm going to bring in the man who basically got me onto this show and started it all off, and I do appreciate it, So first off, I know he put in my name to do it. So Danny Graham, welcome, man. Thanks for coming.
What's up?
Tell the people. Thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. Doing good. Like I said, it was because of you that my name came up for this show. So I do appreciate that. Tell the people about your channel, sir.
Thank you, Anzo, man. We had known each other a long time, man, but I consider you one of my closest friends. We talk about it every day. It was a no-brainer whenever we had a spot come open. So you're killing it. I appreciate it. I'm taking a little break, but like I told you today, I would definitely make an exception. If you ever call and I can do it, I'm going to come. I am Danny Graham, AKA Comet Chat. I have a few shows on here on this YouTube platform. Anzo, I, and Chris Knight, I think, will be on collectively formed Chaos Central, which is a platform we're trying to use to put out content, things we all like, care about, interested in. I usually do Monday night shows called a Chaotic Conversation. Tonight, of course, we're on the Chaos list. Tomorrow, they're going to be doing the Rule of Three, and we have an Equilibrium show, which is kind of going to the wind. But I promise you, I'm going to bring it back, especially when I come back in February. Also, we do Square One, which is a sports show. When I come back in February, that'll be the Saturday before the Super Bowl, so that should be right on time. And I'm on other streams, Storms Live. I host different streams. I dropped by on JJ's show, Randomness, LDG, good friend of mine. It's a whole community now, and I appreciate each and every one of you that has come on the show. I've got to know, grown to care about, and I'm looking forward to a good show. And I thank you for the invite, Anzo.
No problem. I appreciate you coming on. I know you were taking your time off, but you still came on. Appreciate that. Next one I am going to bring up is the man that agreed with Danny that said I should be the one to do the show. You know, he had a lot of confidence in me, and I do respect him for that. You know, I didn't know Chris Knight much before he brought me on, but, you know, as he brought me on, he's become a true friend. So I do appreciate that. Chris Knight, thank you, my friend. Do appreciate that.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Tell the people about your channel, sir.
Yeah, The Real Review 3000 is my channel. Of course, ChaosCentral.com is something I'm partnered with, Chaos Central here on YouTube with you guys. And, you know, just lots of streams, different videos on pop culture, music, gaming, all that stuff. I am occasionally Anzo, LDG, and JJ's punching bag on games. Hopefully this weekend we'll get some more of that in. And yeah, I gotta say, dude, I love the intro. I love that intro.
Thank you, man.
That was fire, and that not the reason why you were brought in on this venture, but definitely one of the positive sides of having you here is the stuff that you've brought and the way that you've. I know for me, you've made me want to try to do things a little differently with the shows and intros and stuff like that. So definitely awesome job. Awesome job.
Thank you, man. I do appreciate it. Like I said, shit is fun to me. So I do appreciate the confidence you guys had in me. Next up, I'm going to bring in is my smoking partner, the one that I met on one of these streams. You know, I mean, JJ he used to be in the chat. I used to see him in the chats all the time. And then Chris brought him on the show, and it was like, okay, JJ is the man. So right now I'm going to bring in my homeboy. You know, I'll say this too, and I'll say this one time because it's close to New Year's. This guy is an undercover gamer. When he started playing Tekken, I thought I was going to whoop his ass constantly. And this guy did a bang up job. He plays games. He's sneaky. So JJ, welcome back, brother. Thank you for coming, man. Tell people about your channel.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy JJ, and I'm not even going to go into myself this evening. Anzo, the intro was fire. It was completely humbling.
Thank you.
I never expected to see myself nor the rest of us on there. I've been watching this stuff for a while, and when Chris asked me to step in that one night, meeting you was like one of the best things that's happened to me this year. Which there are far and few between, and I know I can honestly say that between all of us. It's been a shit year, so I want to thank you guys for adopting me into the Chaos family. I have fun every week when I come in here. I love talking to all you guys, and Anzo, you are doing a bang up job. Awesome, man. Keep up what you're doing.
Thank you, man. I do appreciate that. I really do.
I mean that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. I try my best. You know, I try to be entertaining to the people there. You know, I try to be respectful to the panel and everybody and make sure that everybody's respected. So I do try my best. Next up is going to be Elihu-Who, who I met on a stream. I can't remember where. I'm sorry, JJ. Eli. But, you know, that's because we burn, right? But, you know, he's a good guy. Came on the show once, and he's been here ever since. So I'm going to bring you in, Elihu. I do appreciate you hanging out with us all the times. Tell the people about your channel, sir.
Had to keep the shades because I'm so cool.
Right.
Well, I want to say thank you, Alonzo, man. This has been a blast, dude. I actually do not remember where I met you.
Mm-hmm. Me neither.
Yeah, both y'all need to cut back a little bit.
No.
Yeah.
No.
What?
No, it's not happening.
Yeah, really.
Well, okay. I'm Elihu-Who, and I can be found everywhere and nowhere at the same time. And when I'm not there, I'm here on Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. Pacific time, specifically here at the Chaos Central on Alonzo's channel. And when I'm not there, I'm on my own show on Wednesdays at 12 noon Pacific time called What's Up with the Universe, where we talk astronomy, astrophysics, all sciencey fun. And I can also be found on Twitter and everywhere else. So,
Excellent, man. Again, I do appreciate you coming in with us. Next up, I'm going to bring in is my homeboy that I grew up with. I knew him since I was 3 years old, man. He lived right next door to me. Like, we did some shit together. You know, he's been my best friend since my first best friend I ever had, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? And I do appreciate him coming on the show because he was like, yo, I want to come on. I said, no problem. And he's been here ever since as well. You know, we got some big plans for his channel too. So Gaishkar, my friend, thank you for joining us again. Appreciate it.
It's all love, man. I'm here for you, bro. You got me hooked on all this. So you know what? Through you, I got into this channel thing. My wife's happy because I leave her the hell alone now more often. So she's all happy about that. But no, man, seriously, thanks for having me on that day on OOC, which is fire. And meeting up with Danny, Chris, JJ, Elihu, man, it's like you said, it's a community, and I'm truly humbled by the way you did that. Tribute to everybody, man. And I'm not even gonna say where I'm at because wherever you see these guys at, that's where I'm gonna be at. So stick to us, man, and we're gonna make things entertaining to our best of our abilities, which is gonna be some shits and giggles and some back and forth once in a while. But that's all good because that's healthy, right? So yeah, man, thanks for having me again, brother.
Yeah, that was an awesome sauce. That was an awesome sauce intro, man. I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And then I am going to bring in a special guest because this is the New Year's show. It's going to be my homeboy, John. You know, me and him kick off back and forth all the time on shows. You know, he's an arrogant little prick sometimes, but he's okay. So I'm going to bring him in. John, thank you for coming on again. We're going to keep it short, though, because we got a few people coming on, hopefully some more. So what up, Mr. John? How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. I apparently missed the background memo, so I apologize.
It's okay.
But
it's okay. You get a pass.
I highly appreciate it.
His porn corner. His porn corner is still there.
Hey, you got a super chat, by the way.
And I'm on the bottom as I should be. I'm the foundation.
Tell the people about your channel, John.
You know, I shit post all the time. It's pretty much what I do. I'm just like everybody else. I love pop culture. I talk about it as much as I can, but I got lucky and somehow ran into Chris, and then I ended up meeting Danny, Anzo, and Terrence. We did some Stargirl watching, which, as a grown-ass man, can't believe I devoted 1 day a week, or actually 2 days a week, not only to watch it, but then review it with these guys, and it was a lot of fun. Learned a lot of stuff, and look forward to seeing what you're gonna, throw out for everybody. Square One's seems to be doing really well. I'm impressed, and the community and the shows that you guys are all doing is good shit. I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you, John. I do appreciate you coming on. LDG said he probably couldn't make it today. Had some stuff going on at home. Hope everything is okay with you, LDG. You know, you got the link, so whenever you have everything set up and you can come on, you can definitely pass on. Tried to get my homeboy Roberto on the show tonight. He said he might pass if he can, so I just wanted to have most people that I've streamed with on the last episode for the year, you know what I mean, just to go all out. I do appreciate the chat that's in here. We have the Austinator, we have It's a Trap, so I appreciate that. Jelly ZZ, Cole, Mad 13, Caleb, Austinator, Ninjroids in the house. So I do appreciate all you guys that came in to watch the show. I do appreciate that. You guys know how the show is. 3 topics that we discuss. we go through the panel. We're going to keep it short because we don't want this episode to go very, very long. Plus, it's the holidays. I know people got shit to do. So we'll keep it to a minimum, the 3 topics, but there's always honorable mentions. And my first honorable mention goes out to my smoking partner, my homeboy, JJ. An honorable mention was JJ on a stream last night went just to Mac. Should JJ now be considered an OG?
Damn.
JJ, you are the original gangster, brother.
No, original gamer.
Gangster.
Hold on. No, he's talking about something I did last night. Unfortunately, I had to cut ties with somebody. But before I did that, I went on this man's stream and just flat out started talking to the only woman on the panel. And yeah, I did that purposely. I've done that one time before, but it was just the opposite. The host was a female, and the person I wanted to talk to was the guy, and it was none other than Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Totally disregarded the host. So yeah, I've done it at least twice. So yeah, I consider myself an OG.
Oh,
who are you macking on?
Her name's Yvette DeVoyle. She's a quantum physicist.
Yep.
She
you got it right.
You
got it right.
Yo, yep. I was smiling when I seen what JJ was doing. At first he was on and I was like, oh shit, what's JJ doing? But then when he started macking, I was like, holy shit, JJ got game.
Yeah, remember, you're not an assaulter. He's not an astrophysicist.
Hey, hang on a second, guys. Hang on a second. Chris, you're a little bit hot. You're a little bit hot, bro.
I got you.
Okay, well, don't mac on him now.
Private chat.
No, okay.
Go ahead, Chris. What are you going to say?
Oh, no, I was just asking him to look in the private chat about something. It's cool.
Oh, okay.
So he calls you hot, and then you tell him to look at your privates. What is happening, guys?
Whoa.
That's the type of show this is going to be interesting.
I have no clue.
It's all good, man. We got honorable mention number 2. And of course, I can't let Danny pass without one. You know that, right? New Year's ending, Danny has to get one. So honorable mention number 2. Is Danny Graham really taking a month off, even though he's still popping up on people's screens?
You know what? I was thinking the same thing the other day. I'm like,
that's a valid question.
Can I defend Danny on this? Here's the facts.
No.
He said January to February. So
thank you.
He's still in a soft
I'm
zone.
weaning off.
Okay.
People, the internet would be calling Chris a simp right now.
No. I'm speaking the truth. That's what I do. That's the name of my channel. The
Right
real.
now, I'm on people's show because there's no work to come on buddy's show. You're doing your own shows. You got to work.
Exactly.
I agree.
Alonzo helps me.
Real talk.
You got to put all that stuff up. And you got to put all the tags on that shit. Man, that's tiring after you've done 2 jobs every day. So
I will say, Danny,
this right here is work. When I get tired of people, I'm gonna click off.
That's true, though, man. You're speaking out facts because that's the only reason my channel's not even done yet.
Serious,
oh, yes, sir.
You know what?
It's a serious delay.
And I can agree with you too, man, because you know how many times I was supposed to do my Xbox and PlayStation review? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do a video for my Xbox. I'm going to do a video for my PlayStation. Those videos haven't even come out yet. So,
man, this work, bro.
Everyone will know my thoughts on Cyberpunk 5 years from now. It's fine.
I don't see how Terrence does it. Terrence got all these videos. I don't see how he does it.
Hey, I do my show once a week. It takes me about 3 or 4 days to do all my stuff.
Shit, I struggle with 2 or 3 a week. He got like 100 saved.
Coming out, yeah.
What?
I got to make sure. Well, everything I got to make sure on my show is factual. I can't have any speculation.
And
I feel like this is shots fired right here.
Topic number 3.
I do a side show.
I can't let Chris pass either. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's the one that got me on the show too, so he has to catch the last one too here. Now, is Chris Knight crazy for saying that Wonder Woman 84 is on par with the first movie?
Absolutely.
He needs to go see. He needs to go see General Zod for that statement.
Oh, listen, Zod can't hold a match to me. Don't even give me fucking light.
I legitimately think 84 is just above Justice League, and Suicide Squad is better.
Mm-mm.
I will say it.
No.
84 is so bad, it hurts my soul.
There was inconsistencies in 84.
And it's
period.
long. It's so long.
There was inconsistencies in it.
Shazam is better than 84. Everybody know I don't like Shazam.
I'll agree with
that.
that.
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah, 84, there was a lot of inconsistencies. Like the opening sequence. Her mother's okay with her training and doing all this stuff, but the other Wonder Woman, her mother was against it. So I'm like,
no,
what the hell?
No, you didn't follow it. In the first one, her mother gave the aunt permission to train her. So that's not true.
Yes.
And she's still worried about it.
At first, she was against it.
Hold on.
Batman versus
We'll get to that.
Guys, we do have a Wonder Woman question at the end, so we'll get into all of that. Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, just to reiterate, yes, Chris is insane.
And what were you going to say? I'll give you a chance to respond to the question. Chris?
What? Oh, that?
I
don't think so. I mean, listen, it is no secret that. Listen, I don't follow the crowd. Listen, if I like it, I'm going to tell you I like it. Doesn't matter. I like The Last Jedi. I like Wonder Woman 84. I think that it's misunderstood in so many ways because of so many different things. But that's my opinion. So that's how it is.
Cute. It's misunderstood. It's like a goth teenager. She hasn't grown into her own yet. It'll get there.
All right. So,
I'll wait for Wonder Woman opinion until we get to the question.
Well,
we will get to it.
The facts of the matter is that, like I said, my channel is called The Real Review because I'm going to tell you, my opinions may not be popular, but they are my opinions, and I am not going to just say, "Oh, it sucked" because everybody else is saying it. I'm not because, and I'm not saying you guys are asking me to. I'm just saying. I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to lie to you. If I don't think I like it, I don't like it.
Look, I like Batman and Robin. I'm not going to make fun of you.
What is wrong? That right there. That tells you that he's sick in the head. That
Batman. Freeze is incredible.
So wait. Yeah, go ahead, JJ. You're muted. Can't hear
you. Muting disease.
Yes, I still go through that. All right. He likes Batman and Robin.
It's good shit.
But you like The Last Jedi. Now, I'm not arguing with you with this because I like The Last Jedi. But what I'm getting at is, how in the hell can you get on him for liking a bad movie when you like just an equally as bad movie?
Because I understand that it's garbage. I understand that my movie that I like is garbage.
No, I'm not saying The Last Jedi is perfect in any way. It's anything less than a great. It's a lot less.
Oh yeah, no, it's a terrible film.
Great film, but
I like it.
But I like it just because it was just a way to escape the world for a couple hours.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would never fault anybody for that. I think X-Men Origins Wolverine has some of the best X-Men stuff in it.
It's just entertainment to me.
Yeah.
I'm just like he's dogging you and you're dogging him. It's like, what's the point?
I'm just screwing with him. That's all.
I'll get you later, Chris.
No, I mean,
I was just gonna say LDG has reached, and another special guest has come into the fray. Terrence, how you doing, brother?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good. I appreciate you coming in.
Wow, it's so much more masculine all of a sudden.
LDG,
he's giving himself an intro.
Yeah.
No, brakes! Guys, why aren't the brakes working? Because I cut the brakes! Wild card, bitches!
You know what? Since this new year.
Yes, there he is.
Since it's New Year's, you didn't get the Phantom Zone for cutting me off, so I give you that. Terrence, before we get in, tell the people about your channel, brother. Talk to the people, man.
Oh, what's up, humans? This is Terrence here. My channel is T-Virus Terrence, and at the moment there are 2010 videos that are there, consisting of different topics. It could be essentially whatever comes to mind that I feel that want to share my thoughts on, movie reviews, views of TV shows. I just essentially shine a light on things that humans are afraid to talk about in their full opinion. And a lot of times humans go onto my channel and they're like, man, how dare this guy say that? And I'm like, well, if you don't like it, bitch, go somewhere else. You know, I just let them know what's up. And,
Love it.
It's lots of content.
I like that idea. I like that.
yeah, so there's a lot of stuff over there. I've been on the platform since 2012. I've had a total of like 5 different channels that I've gone through. And, you know, I take many risks when it comes to content that I put out. And, you know, at times it gets me in trouble, but, you know, that's all part of the fun. So my channel is really just about having fun with whatever it is that I'm presenting or talking about. So if you want to deal with someone that is unique in the full sense of the word, I think that T-Virus Terrence is where you need to go.
Excellent. And I just want to say, since it's the new year, you know what I mean? I gave everyone an intro, and I want to say this. When I first started doing this stuff, I asked Danny to come on his show. He said yes, it was Equilibrium. And I came on that show, and it was Danny and Terrence. And I kid you not, we had such a great chemistry and so much fun. We did it for 5 days straight. So Terrence was one of those guys that was there who helped me get started as well. And I do appreciate you for that, brother.
Oh, yep, I appreciate you too, man.
Excellent. LDG was another one. Yeah.
Although, could you put some deodorant on, man, or put your arm down? Jeez.
Wow. I was hoping for this.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was yes.
Be able to get somebody today. So I got him. LDG is another one that I met on the stream, you know what I mean? And he's been a cool dude, man. We've been hanging out, chilling, playing video games together ever since, you know. So everybody that's here, I want you guys to sub to their channels. LDG, tell the people about your channel, sir.
What's going on, guys? Here, let me change rooms real quick. There we go. Okay, we're back at the house now. What's going on, everybody? LDG Pixels here for the community. Got any computer issues? Need help with your computer? Own a Mac? Anything at all? That's what I do on LDG Pixels and on Pixelate, where we hang out, do open parties, watch parties, open panels, open topics, hang out the stream between the streams. Also, change the world, unlock the net, Project Prometheus. About time we have a true public open forum.
7 minutes.
and last but not least, movie aficionados, aka Josh. You know, met him through Rob on his stream. He came into the membership, found out he was into sports and movies and stuff, brought him on Square One, and he's been a fixture on that show ever since. So Josh, do appreciate you coming on today. Tell the people about your channel too, sir.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, 2021, I'm going to have a lot more content on YouTube. I know I took a little bit of a hiatus because I've been focusing more on the group. Our group, we're like growing every day. We're getting close to 7,000 people there. We talk about movies, comic book, or not comic books, movies, TV, Netflix. We had a lot of people, you know, come in, make fun of Wonder Woman, and talk trash about it, you know. So if you have your opinions that you want to voice, go over there on Facebook and check us out.
Excellent. And now you see all these people. This is a big panel today. These are all the people that have been in my YouTube life since I started it. So again, I appreciate all you guys coming to hang out for me. Don't get used to this because this panel ain't gonna be big like this next time.
Now you get to see what it's like when it's like this.
My ego doesn't have enough space. Get out of here.
Yeah, yours or Chris's together. Oh Lord.
Ever.
Yeah, he doesn't understand what
ever
ego
have 10
really
people
is.
on any of my shows.
Mine's
Yeah,
like
we
the
know
universe.
that
Mine's like the universe, just constantly expanding. So
I figured it was special time to do it, man. One time only. We do it like this. Have
Oh
a
yeah,
good
one time is good. This
but constantly,
10
oh
like every Sunday
hell
like Chris
no,
does it? Hell no.
hell no. So we get into the first topic, man. The first topic, of course, we're gonna get into some Star Wars, and perhaps, perhaps unsurprisingly, a new poll has named Darth Vader as the greatest Star Wars villain of all time, and it wasn't even close. Ever since the opening moments of A New Hope back in 1977, Darth Vader cemented himself as not only one of the most menacing beings in the galaxy far, far away, but as one of the greatest villains in cinematic history. As such, the man formerly known as Anakin Skywalker walked away with the top spot in a landslide. Do you guys agree with this poll? Whoever wants to start it up can start it up.
no, Jar Jar was a Sith. Please, end of story.
I can be short and sweet. I can be short and sweet with this.
Chris had his hand up, so I just want to make fun. Chris had his hand up, though. I just want to make a quick little joke.
Okay, I can do it really quick. Absolutely. He's not only the best Star Wars villain, I would argue he's one of the best cinematic villains, right just above Hans Gruber. I think people have been like aiming for his type of stoic demeanor, really cool iconic presence, and like, you know, costume and all that stuff. The voice. I mean, there's just everything about him. And, you know, granted, even the prequels couldn't diminish it. All the stuff that's actually been added to him, you know, you're just not taking it away. The sounds, the costume, the voice, it's all iconic. I think it's one of the most, and especially in a genre that didn't get a ton of respect when it came out. I absolutely not only think he's the best Star Wars villain, but I think he's one of the greatest, if not the greatest, cinematic villain of all time.
You know, I could totally disagree with you. Unfortunately, they ruined Thanos in Endgame, so you're right.
Sure. I would agree with that.
Hanzo. I think the general.
You will lie down before me, Jarrell! Both you and them one day, Jarrell!
Danny gave you a pass. I did not give you any passes. We will not be trashing that game on this stream tonight.
Can I just say this really quick? It is very important when you're coming on one of our three shows if you're, to understand whose show you are on.
That is correct.
Because that will severely change how things are handled from show to show. We all have the power of a phantom zone of some sort.
Absolute power.
But
you better believe I will be sending Danny that for his own private
yes.
use.
I think if it's one of these,
Can I say something about Darth Vader?
Yes, go ahead.
I already got my own, and what's really funny is that I owe it to LDG because he showed me how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now we all have our phantom zone.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck, guys.
Well, I have the Starlight Pit, but I'll be releasing what my phantom zone is sometime.
Good.
Probably not tomorrow, but soon. Probably New Year.
Eli, go ahead, friend.
Okay. If you guys remember the classic westerns, the good guy wore white, the bad guy wore black. Luke Skywalker, he wore white in the beginning in the New Hope episode 4, and you see Darth Vader wear black, the classic good guy, bad guy. Well, automatically you say, okay, this is the bad guy right here, and then all of a sudden you see what kind of maniacal, sneaky mental games he played. before you got to the actual physical analogy of the evil guy. I mean, he basically, when you see a bad guy, you say, okay, the guy's bad because he starts doing bad things, like hating people, throwing people. No, he was manipulative, and he just did this thing and walked away. You're like, oh shit, okay, I'm scared of this guy already. He didn't have to do anything really, and he just his presence alone. I mean, the way the guy, I forgot the guy's name, Anthony, I've got his, Andrew.
David Prowse played the physical form.
Thank you, David. I was thinking of his name. The way he basically did his blocking and his characters with the lines. He actually spoke the lines, but it was James Earl Jones did the voiceover. But when he spoke the lines, he actually did the emphasis with the body moves and the blocking. I'm like, okay, this is good. You actually believe this guy is a bad guy. I actually agree that Darth Vader is one of the best, most evil Star Wars villains there is. Then it goes to Grievous.
Well, I have to echo that. Not only is he the best villain in cinematic history, but he's also my favorite Star Wars character. You know, just the movement alone of the character. He ain't got to say a word. Just the movement alone. And that was portrayed perfectly by David Prowse, which we unfortunately lost earlier on.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe he played the character so great that he was never given the credit he truly deserved for that role.
Agreed.
You know, for such an iconic character, it is a damn shame.
Everybody say Darth Vader, but I'm going to lean towards Emperor Palpatine because Darth Vader does look menacing. I give you all the points you said, but this sucker, man, he played the end game crazy. Like I put that in LDG end game. This sucker plotted shit for. He plotted shit for.
Well,
he plotted shit for years.
Can I?
And he even fooled the Jedi. So I just want to say, Darth Vader looks the part. I agree with everything y'all say, but far as just downright evil, I mean, this sucker, he just went from pawn to pawn to pawn to pawn till he finally got his knight, which is Darth Vader. But all of the patience it took, the years of preparation, thinking 4 or 5 steps ahead, I mean, that's evil there. I mean,
it feels unlucky because you have to go by the prequels to get all that, and also his name is Sheev.
Not only that, it's
Sheev.
Not only that, through the whole Star Wars, right? If you just base it on the movies, but people retain more as Darth Vader over Palpatine, right? Us that we have a deeper knowledge of it, and we know the EU, we can criticize more. We know how many years he was planning this, right? But like we're saying, Vader's presence by far became iconic. You can go anywhere in the world and you show them a picture of Darth Vader and everybody knows who that is. You know, no matter what language, what end of the world you are, that face has become an iconic figure as evil, and for some as, you know, redemption as well, right? So, yeah,
it's like Batman versus Bruce Wayne. Like, you know, the imagery of Darth Vader no matter what.
Exactly.
So, I mean, Danny's got a point to some extent, but here's the thing. He had to jump, like you said, from person to person to person. When he got a hold of Vader, and if you read the books, if you read about things in the books, it explains that Palpatine is deathly afraid of Vader because he knows what he did to his master. And that's why that suit is the way it is. Everybody asked why he was so slow in A New Hope and stuff. If you read about his suit, the suit was designed that Palpatine could control him with that suit. He could make him slower. He could keep him from being everything he could be. That right there tells me that, yes, Darth Vader is the greatest villain in Star Wars. And like I put him in number 2 of our top of 100 or 50. I'm sorry, on our top 50. 100 would have lasted forever. But I think that right there, the fact that Palpatine used the suit to control him and keep him lesser than what he was, shows you that if he was that deathly afraid of him, how strong he actually was. And so I still think that proves that he is the greatest villain in Star Wars.
Hold on, Eli. I want to let Terrence and Josh speak. So, Terrence, what do you think?
I I'm not going to echo that Darth Vader is the best villain of all time. I don't think that that's fair when there are a couple of handfuls of villains that can easily be in that same position for different reasons. But what I will say is that when it comes to Star Wars, he is absolutely the best villain that I've ever seen. I don't have a whole lot of experience with the EU, but I have plenty of friends that, they've told me different things about these characters that they've read about and certain characters that they've seen in animation. And a lot of them, they did sound very impressive in terms of the accomplishments and things that they can do power wise. But I didn't really get the notion from hearing the details or even being shown these characters that they even came close to being what Darth Vader is in the context of the movies. Just his presence to me is important because for me, regardless of what you can do, if you don't have the presence, then a lot of stuff kind of falls away from you, and it really does become dependent on, okay, this person is able to get fear and so on based upon doing something specific, as to where if you have the presence, you could simply just enter an environment and everyone else adjust their behavior based on just seeing you. Like, oh, what should I do? Or even if it's something subtle that maybe someone would overlook, like the person adjusting their posture because they see you, they change the way they speak, all that kind of stuff. I see that from Vader. And then when he actually does use his powers, it just complements his already strong presence. So even over Palpatine, who was manipulating and controlling him, to me, I feel like that would be an example of um, the person that's under the leader, so to speak, as being better than the leader. Because if Palpatine were to walk into the room, I would pay attention, but it's not the same reaction that, I would give if I saw Vader, in a sense that I would be ready to do some sort of battle just because it's presence. I would think that I would need to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
For
that's
real.
Palpatine's power. That's part of his power. You don't think he a threat till it's too late.
Right. Well, realistically, with who I am as a person, I don't underestimate anyone. I'm just only going off of, comparing the two characters to each other. And to me, that presence from Vader is a lot more pronounced than, say, Palpatine or Grievous. And even like Darth Maul. Like Darth Maul, he has a lot of coolness to him. Like when you see him, as to where Darth Vader, I feel like should you get past Darth Maul and then Darth Vader enters the room, then it's just like, oh man, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna beat him the same way that I just defeated Maul. There just would be all those unanswered questions, and I would have to change how I conduct myself. I feel like he just has that presence about him, which is important to me. So to
It's
me,
also kind of like how Danny Glover killed.
He's like super
He
competent.
like how Danny Glover killed that predator, and then the rest of them popped up. And he's like, "Who's next?" That's pretty much how it would be.
right. Yeah, that's kind of how I see that. Again, this is only just comparing the two characters off each other, but I feel that, when you say Star Wars to me, there are two characters that pop in my head immediately, and that would be Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Darth Vader in terms of evil, and then anything good would be Luke Skywalker pops in my head first.
That's correct. Josh, what do you think?
Nice window, sucker.
Well, everybody that knows me knows I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I'm probably like the least biggest Star Wars fan here on the panel, but I've seen all the movies, I respect them, and I like them.
Oh shit! Talk about New England Patriots.
Oh my god! You couldn't even wait. You couldn't even wait till I let me finish.
I know, eh?
You couldn't even wait.
That's fine. Tom Brady's not there
I'm being
anymore.
optimistic. No, but yeah. As far as being the best villain in Star Wars, from what I know, I'm gonna actually agree with you, Danny. Before you interrupted me, I was gonna agree with you and say I think it's Palpatine overall, because especially if you count the sequels and the prequels, I mean, his influence throughout. He's behind the scenes, his everything he's done is so influential, even to Darth Vader. Darth Vader, I'd say, is the most iconic, but I think Palpatine is like the best being. But as far as being the best villain of all time, for me, there's so many others like Hannibal Lecter I'd put in there, Anton Chigurh. I don't know. That's just me personally because I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan.
No, that's fine.
Yeah,
I
Danny,
can
you had
understand that.
stop
repeating
Star
that.
Wars
Shocker.
fan agreeing with you, so that's great points.
I can understand that because I like Kaiser Soze a lot, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Somebody
he was
put a
my number
shocker.
two of all time.
I like Anton Chigurh. I like Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad.
There's a lot of good villains out there.
Yeah, there's a lot. Hannibal Lecter's up there for me, though.
Go ahead, Eli. You're muted, though.
You're muted.
I apologize, JJ. Sorry. When the question was asked, were
That took me a second. That was funny.
were people who asked were they EU fans or the general nerd population who just considers they only know about the movies? Because if you ask the general population who only knows about the movies, they're going to say, yeah, Vader. But the EU fans are going to say Palpatine because they manipulative, all the story behind him, the backstory behind him. That's what I'm just thinking. Like, who's that question?
Yeah, wait.
Well, you say EU. I mean, you could go by the prequels. I mean, I totally understand what Danny's saying if you have the prequels in context as well, because you also do have Anakin who turns.
Even if you go by just that and just by the prequels, this was not even close. That's exactly how he this article worded it. It wasn't even close.
They did say that in the article. Yeah.
So I mean, come on. I mean, even if you go by the prequels, and I say even if you go by the EU, anytime the guy you're saying is the bad one, the worst of them all, the best villain, is scared of that villain, that tells you a lot. Again,
Vader killed Palpatine. Also, let's just throw that out there.
Well, he did.
Yeah, Vader did kill him.
Throw that out there.
Right. And before I get to the next topic, I'm just gonna do this real quick. After what JJ did last night, Elihu, there will be no making fun of JJ today. Got it?
Okay, it wasn't me.
Okay. Dude, I was trying to make out with Ursula before you pulled me out. Never mind, I'll get another chance eventually.
You're talking about J.J. Abrams?
I keep trying to start drama in this.
No, JJ.
Oh, there's the guy here, JJ. Oh, I thought you were talking about JJ Abrams.
Yeah. No. My boy JJ. I mean, no making fun of JJ today.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, I was muted. Hey, I'm sorry, 1 second. I actually just didn't actually say what I wanted to say about that last topic. I just wanted to squeeze in the end game real quick. As far as best on Star Wars, yeah, I give it to Darth Vader. Even but all in all, like, you're forgetting the mastermind Jigsaw. I would put him as number one, man, because that those movies were the S. That guy knew how to play his game. And the only other one that was even close to being good as a Jigsaw was Cruella DeVille. She was a nutsoid. She'd rip Darth Vader apart.
I mean, I like Freddy Krueger. I like Freddy Krueger.
Phantom Zone.
Yeah,
Cruella DeVille from 101 Dalmatians.
I said.
This is
I thought that was for me for my horror.
You were no, you were correct on that one, Danny.
This
Do you realize it seriously sounds like he says "F you, Jarrell"?
I love my Freddy Kruegers and my Jason Voorhees and my Michael Myers and all that, and Samara Morgans. So, but Darth Vader's
We're
in.
not to go to the zone. You keep calling him cheesy ass.
I'm just saying Vader's well-rounded. He's very well-rounded compared to a lot of other villains. They tend to be one note. That's all.
So topic
It's
number
Thanos.
2 now. This guy's really itching for another one, eh? Topic number 2 now.
Hey, Ursula's my woman, okay?
Disney Plus versus HBO Max. Now, according to a new report, both Soul and Wonder Woman 1984 resulted in a spike for their respective streaming services. However, it was Pixar's Soul that provided the larger bump for Disney Plus. a top whatever, and Jesus Christ, I can't see those words.
Aptopia.
And Sensor Tower
tied.
tailed mobile app downloads for both Disney Plus and HBO Max. An estimated 2.3 million
installations.
Installations of the Disney Plus app were registered globally following the release of Soul. That represents a 28% increase from the prior weekend. Meanwhile, an estimated 554,000 downloads were registered for HBO Max. With the release of Wonder Woman 1984, there is a clear winner in these terms of raw numbers here, but it's not as simple as that. Are these numbers surprising to you? I should have just read it off my iPad. Are these numbers?
that background is
might help.
I can see clear on my iPad. You know.
The words red or something. Should have watched.
I tried different colors, but the red didn't work good.
No, it's really
Not
difficult.
even black.
Yeah, it sucks when you're on a Mac.
What numbers are you talking about? The numbers that it did for the streaming services?
I think he's talking about
Yeah,
membership.
because
right?
the streaming
membership
the membership. But what it also says is that right, the numbers aren't because HBO Max is not in certain places. You know what I mean? So of course Disney Plus is worldwide, right? So I mean they're reporting these numbers, but the numbers don't really add up if you want to put it that way.
So I kind of I'd like to tackle
2.3 billion versus a 500,000.
Yeah.
And one thing, it wasn't even announced here in Canada where you can catch it. I just came across it by pure fluke, right? When I messaged you, Hans was saying it was on Prime, right?
Yeah.
Like we didn't even know.
And those were the things. It's like, so you have HBO Max not being quite as globally accessible, while Disney Plus is essentially international. I don't think that you should really go off the downloads or installations because Disney Plus, we are coming off Mandalorian season 2. So I really do see a lot of people already jumping on that and already having it downloaded. I could see HBO Max maybe coming in just because we've moved past the holidays. Maybe people got a couple of bucks right when the movie drops so you can put it on. I would say viewing wise, the views is what you really want to look at. And I think Soul, I could see Soul doing better just because it's more family oriented. Like you're guaranteed well, oh yeah, go ahead.
Just really quick.
Yeah.
Everything I've heard about Soul says kids won't get it.
Really?
Yeah, I heard the same thing.
But that's just because if they watch it, they'll realize they don't get it. But it's still an animated film. So I think you're going to get it turned on and you're going to get it started. So it doesn't matter. I think, because families are always looking for that animated family film for the holidays. Wonder Woman, could still potentially be up there just because it's like a superhero film. I don't know. But again, the lack of accessibility globally can really hurt it. And you're also looking at the fact that also got a theater release. As small as it was, I know a lot of people that really wanted to go to the theaters to watch it for the sake of watching it in a theater. So maybe their numbers are a little bit off just because maybe they're only looking at the app versus like total gross. Also, it's one of those things where I just think maybe like installations and app stuff isn't really as poignant. And now that we're not really seeing quote unquote box office numbers, I think it's a lot easier to skew those numbers. And so people just got to take everything with a grain of salt. So
if I'm not mistaken, it made
Wonder Woman is
18 million in theaters. If I'm not mistaken,
I think Wonder Woman is definitely the more recognizable between the two.
Well, it's a
what's
sequel.
going to hurt Wonder Woman is word of mouth.
Sure.
Yeah. Word of mouth is going to hurt Wonder Woman because I'm here in good old America and I'm watching it and I'm telling Anzo in good old Canada, this shit sucks. So
it is pretty trash. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty bad.
I'm just saying, only one person on the panel likes it.
My girlfriend's not really down with rape, so she
actually
non-consensual sex. Excuse me.
No, 2 people on the panel like it. To be honest with you, Terrence, talk about it.
Oh, who's the second? Oh yeah, Terrence.
I heard the wrong part of that.
In terms of the numbers, like I don't know how they expect us to gauge this, because the numbers are all over the place. Number one, you don't have a lot of humans having access to HBO Max. But what I did notice is that Wonder Woman 1984, in the few theaters that it opened up in, it opened higher than Tenet, which is
Yes,
very
it did.
impressive,
It did.
which shows the recognizability of the character and the popularity of the character. And
Exactly.
then some other articles that I looked at said that 60% of the HBO Max subscribers watched Wonder Woman 1984 when it premiered on Christmas Day. So I'm like, okay, there's that. But then at the same time, depending on where you go to look at these numbers and what the reviews are looking like, the reviews for Wonder Woman 84 are still favorable by over 55%, which is more than half. So between the numbers and the misconception that everyone hated the film, which is very far from the truth, is really just making a lot of humans confused about what's going on with Wonder Woman 1984. And then when it comes to Soul, you have more numbers that you can rely on, I guess. But at the same time, those types of reviews are coming from families like, hey, just watch it. It's a family movie. The adults will appreciate it. The kids won't get it. So with all this confusing information, how do you know what to go off of? And I feel like you should really focus on the conditions surrounding the streaming service platforms themselves, how the film did in the theater based off of us being in a pandemic. So I feel like really kind of zeroing in on what we have available to us is the best way to gauge it in a very confusing situation. Between Wonder Woman 1984 and Soul, I saw Wonder Woman 1984. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and I feel like, at the moment it is receiving a lot of unfair criticism, and a lot of humans did not understand what Patty Jenkins did with the movie, kind of just went over people's heads. But, that's fine. Humans can feel how they want, but
A little
I
condescending,
completely
but true.
understood. Like I understood like the themes that she went for, and all the source material that she pulled from. And for me, I thought it worked well as a film. But I just make sure that whenever this sort of conversation comes up about Wonder Woman 84, that the wrong that the information that's incorrect is not put out there to be feasted on.
I think that movies should not be judged on opening weekend, because if you guys remember the hiatus between Pirates of the Caribbean, when the third one finally came out to 2 or 3 years, it really exploded in the first weekend at the box office. Then it dropped like 5th or 6th because it sucked, and word of mouth. It did not. It just went below their expectations. Just like Wonder Woman, it's going to get word of mouth. It's going to get money this past weekend, yes. But word of mouth, people are saying, hey, it's not very good. They don't like the direction it was taken.
I think Terrence is spot on. Everything I hear people talking about, I'm like, you don't get what she was going for?
Oh my goodness.
I watched it twice. There's loopholes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
I
actually watched it twice.
So it's the you weren't smart enough for it argument.
No. That is
silly.
okay. Like
That is
I'm not
so
gonna
silly.
speak. I'm not gonna speak for others, but that is definitely not what I was ever saying or implying.
No.
Like not even in the slightest.
You literally said
But,
we didn't get it. That's literally what you said.
No. But that's not
to.
to no. But that's not to speak on someone's intellectual properties. It's just when something is being presented, if you don't get it, it goes over your head. Like certain things didn't click with you in the way that the director intended. But that doesn't mean you're stupid.
But you said it went over my head. I don't understand.
That doesn't mean that you're stupid. It means that it went over your head. I mean,
okay, like in a way. Okay, but again, I just clarified it for you. But this is just one of those things like where you kind of take away from you what you want from it. It's kind of like with the Maxwell Lord character. There were some humans that are like, this is Trump. And I didn't get that at all. I'm like, no, that's not Trump. That's just the character from DC Comics.
No.
But you're gonna take it how
I was
you
kind of seeing
how
the
you want.
Let him finish.
but like I didn't get that either. Surprisingly,
So
I did.
So what I'm saying is that, like, when I reviewed the movie on my channel, there were a couple of humans that came in there and they're like, you know what? I didn't like the film. There was like one or two that said it was bad. But at the same time, I would say the majority, they said that they got it and they enjoyed it and they gave it a pretty high score, even though they had some issues with the film. So from my perspective, and then looking at the other reviews and looking at the percentage scores from different media platforms, which I don't trust, by the way. There's a lot of biased reviewers and things like that. But if you want to use that for the sake of making conversation, I'm like, it doesn't seem like this whole everybody hates it, because there's no way that the percentage and the scores would be over 50% if everybody hates it.
Not everybody hates it, obviously.
Well, no, I'm not. But
I
understand that not everybody hates it. But based on what these media outlets and some of these reviewers are telling you, they're implying and they're saying, oh, everybody hates this film. It's a waste of time. Don't watch it. I'm like, that's ridiculous. That's not true at all.
Yeah.
So
when did she have the power to make force fields or fly? Because it's not.
The flying came after Christ and then here on Earth.
Hold on. One at a time.
And then here, and then here's another thing that I found to be interesting. There are a large number of humans that have yet to see Wonder Woman 1984.
Right. So
a
no
hell of a lot
spoiler.
of humans haven't seen it.
No spoiler.
So, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking like, well, we need to give it a little bit more time for a lot of humans to see it. And then once it's been out there in the stratosphere for a good amount of time, then I think it would be fair to really gauge how the majority of humans feel about Wonder Woman 1984, and not so much just the small initial rush, which again, still over 50% enjoyed the film.
Don't judge a movie on its opening weekend.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like it's really hard for a lot of humans to be fair when it comes to their critiquing. So that's also problematic, not to mention, again, all the confusing information. So again, I enjoyed the movie. I haven't seen So yet. I'll get to it and, see what that's like. But, again, in terms of the data, I feel like it's so confusing and it's not complete. And, a lot of humans just don't know how to gauge it. That's the truth.
I gotta talk after Terrence because I like this man speak. And while I have this still in my head, first of all, Elihu, it's don't judge the movie when it's don't stop judging the movie. Of course, you judge the movie for its opening. Just don't stop judging it. You wait longer to get the full picture. Okay. Second, you're absolutely right. You can't trust the reviews today. The manipulation of the online, how the online articles that you're seeing, how they're spun, who they're sponsored by, blah 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 blah. The masses automatically giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down without putting any actual thought or having any reasoning behind it. You really can't judge it. Okay, and you're right. You got to give it more time. I mean, when the Star Wars Mandalorian, the Mandalorian's final episode came out, I saw Star Wars fans take a whole week before they watched it. Like, you guys have Star Wars channels. You took a week to watch it. Are you seriously? So you're gonna have people that haven't seen it yet. Okay, you're only people who've seen it right now are people who want to watch movies when they first came out, or hardcore Wonder Woman fans. Now, what did I think about the movie? I think it was like Superman 1. It was okay, but it didn't really have the freshness, the kick, the exciting plot. It was more like what Wonder Woman 1 as far as I'm concerned.
That's what Patty said the movie was.
But it was decent enough to watch. I mean, if I had two rooms, Wonder Woman for the rest of my life or Endgame, I'd pick Wonder Woman. But that's me. Okay.
Yes,
I mean, they didn't destroy her. They didn't destroy her. Okay, they destroyed Thanos. They didn't destroy Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman and Endgame?
Like this is blowing my mind, guys. Like we're talking about box office stuff. I could show my kid 10 years from now Predator 1 or RoboCop or Terminator 2, and they'll understand it's good, even though they didn't see it on opening weekend. It's just a silly argument. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You're absolutely right. We should give it some more time.
I agree with
see what
Flash.
happens.
I agree with Flash.
But as far as the reviews, you can't put any stock in them. You really can't, because their goal is to manipulate the outcome so it looks better, so people can come in. So you need to judge for yourself and have a place to go to, like these YouTube forums like us, to express your thoughts. Because if you just go to Rotten Tomatoes, you're not going to get the full picture.
Absolutely.
And JJ, I know you didn't see it yet, but do you have anything on the topic? Like, you're still muted.
Not really. To me, it's something that don't concern me. Box office numbers and stuff like that just don't really concern me. I'm in it for the entertainment. That's all that matters to me.
Got you. Danny, Gaishkar.
Listen, like I said, I didn't like it. I found it was just dragged on too long. The scenes were too long. Freaking Pedro Pascal's acting was terrible. I'm sorry. His acting was
he was
worst.
trying, but
it was like theater acting.
God.
Yeah.
But no, to everybody in the chat who hasn't seen it and definitely see it, get your own opinion on it. This is my personal opinion, but it was okay, but terrible okay. I'll watch it in order to just watch it again. No, but definitely watch it.
Danny?
Feedback off of what Gaskar said. Just my opinion, his opinion. It was okay. If Chris liked it and if Terrence liked it, I mean, it was their cup of tea. Compared to the first one, it just wasn't not a cup of tea. But will I watch it again anytime soon? Probably not. But I'll watch again later on down the road. But just based on what I saw, the first word that came to my mind after the first scene was cheesy. Yep. To me, it seemed kind of cheesy. The effects and stuff.
Scene is
Not to say. I know that's what it meant, Chris. I know it's blowing your mind, but to me, it's my opinion. The same way you argue about stuff, your opinion. I don't care if you think that's what she was going for. I do not care if you think that's what she was going for. To me, the shit was cheesy.
Did you live in the 80s at all?
Anybody else think that that's what she was going for? Shit was cheesy.
But it
I
didn't
live in the
have
80s.
to
And
do
the
with
shit
the
was fucking
80s.
cheesy.
For the humans listening, I wanted to let them know that between the two Wonder Woman films, I do prefer the first one, but to me, the second one is about, like, when you look at like Wonder Woman comic books, there's always a different focus. This one's about her strength, this one's about her speed, this one's about her fighting gods, and so on and so on. So with this particular film, as in the title, it's focused on the 80s. There's supposed to be a certain feel, but this one was much more of an emotional journey, as to where the first one was about showing her as a warrior. So I think that there are a fair amount of humans that prefer that part of her storytelling over what we got in Wonder Woman 1984.
Gotcha. And Josh, you have something to say. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I'd give it like a solid 4 out of 10. It wasn't the worst thing ever, but slightly less than mediocre. But so in my group, I did a little poll, and I picked 3 very specific movies. I picked Tenet, New Mutants, and Wonder Woman. And I said, out of those 3, which one's the best? Shockingly, it was pretty even. There was even a lot of people who thought that New Mutants was one of the best too. So it's pretty even around the board. People that liked it, people that didn't like it. People in the comments were saying, "Oh, I like this." Some people said they didn't. So it's pretty mixed. But as far as what I thought that it was just less than mediocre, and I probably never want to see it ever again. So yeah.
You know what?
Editing is abysmal. The editing is so bad.
And
so
as far as being cheesy, it seems like Patty Jenkins was trying to do like a Sam Raimi thing. Just the execution wasn't there. So.
Well, and they had a ton of reshoots too, so I think she had her hands tied for a minute too. So
yeah,
because she also didn't like the third act in the in the first one, they said she got studioed for that third act, which I would probably argue most people with Wonder Woman 1 say that the third act's probably the weakest part of the film. So something to be said there.
Why build up Cheetah throughout the whole movie and then the fight only lasts 3 minutes?
Can I say Kristen Wiig actually looked kind of hot? Can I throw that out there?
Oh yeah,
I never saw that coming, but all of a sudden, even though they put her in some goofy ass outfits, and then of course the CGI is horrendous, but I was kind of feeling her.
Next topic is almost the same thing, so we'll just stay on it. But before I do, I'll just say one last thing. I know she was trying to go with that cheesy 80s kind of movie. For me, it just did not work. LDG, you're bleeding through with something, man. If that's you. For me, it was the cheesiness. I just couldn't. I didn't like it. I didn't think it fit because it changes the tone from the first movie, and that's one of the biggest issues that I had. It's not the same tone as the first movie, you know. And excellent, and she's swinging on fucking clouds. She's swinging on clouds. I watched it again. She throws the thing up.
She's swinging on lightning.
No. The first time she does it, it's a cloud. She swings it hits the crowd, and she starts swinging. And I was like, okay.
And she does it when she's in that Pakistani road fight too. She does it then too.
I like that they showed her flying. That was pretty cool.
LDG, are you at the casino, man?
It's not me, guys. It's Chris.
Can I say though, Anzo? I understand.
Hey.
Yeah, he has his voice modulator on.
I'm gonna save my opinions for this next topic too.
I understand the tone shift. I think it is a little unfair though and granted, obviously, if you like the first one, you kind of want a little bit of that for the second one. But I think when you have these essentially tone or genre shifts for a sequel or something like that, I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, because you could look at like an Alien. Like Alien's more thriller, and then you go to Aliens and it's more of action crazy. It could. It's just whether or not it's executed correctly. Because cheesy's fine. Look at Jingle All the Way. That movie is absurd, but it knew what it wanted to be immediately and it did it. Or cartoons.
That's why
they know their
Sam Raimi.
Yeah, Sam Raimi's a great. Army of Darkness. Watching Army of Darkness. They shuffle that tone really well.
Cheesy is fine. But
I wanted to say something on that last point, with the whole cheetah thing.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, she said that she plans on bringing Cheetah back. So with that sort of information, I was like, well, building up the Barbara Minerva character and then us seeing Cheetah towards the end, I feel like by the time we get to the third movie, since there are more than 2 different incarnations of Cheetah anyway in the comic books, that allows her to even venture into the more vicious side of the character. And by that point, you'll have different experiences. And for all we know, we could get some sort of team up in regards to Wonder Woman, maybe with other heroes or other Amazons versus Cheetah and another villain. So you could be looking at a complete action heavy kind of movie for the third one, which is what a lot of humans like. And it's something that I can appreciate, but, I also want story.
Mm-hmm. Got you. We'll go to the next one because it's kind of on the same thing, but it's Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 84 reactions continue to flood the internet. Things continue to be not so great, while the first movie was a runaway success by virtually every definition, ranking in boatloads of money and garnering widespread critical acclaim. The sequel can't quite say the same. Case in point, over on IMDb, it is the lowest rated DCEU movie since the franchise kicked off with Man of Steel back in 2013. The distinction was previously held by 2016 Suicide Squad. Do you like Wonder Woman 84, and are you surprised that it's ranked worse than Suicide Squad? Terrence, you start this one off because I know you like it. Then we'll go to Chris.
Okay, so usually I clarify stuff like this because, a lot of humans don't get it. But not to say that it's everyone, but I have noticed that there is a lot of built-in DC hate. There's the immediate dismissal and bashing before they even see the DC show or movie. This does come with a lot of the humans that critique DC material. And then there's the ones that don't do that. They're like, it's either good or it's not. They don't care if it's DC. That's good. Those are the ones that I tend to trust more when it comes to their opinion. But, in terms of it being ranked the lowest and all this kind of stuff, I still feel it's a bit early because percentages can go up and down in the span of a week or two. And then, as I mentioned before, a lot of humans haven't seen it. So they're making it seem like this is solidified, like, 90 something, some odd percent of humans that wanted to see it have already watched it. And I just don't think this is true based off of the availability of the movie and the streaming service that they put it on. So I'm not surprised. Like when a DC show or movie comes out, if it's divisive, in my opinion, that's to be expected. And then I just have to look at, okay, the person that viewed it, like what kind of angle are they coming from? Are they coming at it from, okay, this is just an average person, like, hey, DC, I'm gonna check it out? Or are they coming at it from knowledge? I mean, there's so many different angles that make me curious when it comes to play with how the person is going to critique the said DC property. So I'm not surprised. I think it's unfortunate that with the number of humans that have seen it already, which is not a whole lot, to be honest. I feel like, the ones that it just didn't click with, I do feel that that's unfortunate. But I think that the reason why is because, they had certain expectations and they have a preference on how they wish to see that character. So many things are just unfortunate, but I do stand by, me believing that the film received a lot of unfair criticism because I had said to some of my friends that asked me about, hey, T, should I watch the film? And I was like, absolutely. You must always develop your own opinion. Don't ever jump on any sort of train. Develop your own opinion. So, I told them, yeah, go ahead and check it out. But I also, when I told him to do that, I was like, I want you to understand this. I am very certain that this is probably going to end up being a divisive film. But if you were to take that DC off and put Marvel Studios, like especially when you talk about the critics, the rating would automatically be higher.
And Chris?
I would piggyback off of what he said and bring up the fact that right now, with everything going on in the DCEU, you have the Zack Snyder fans who absolutely will trash this movie right now, out of the sheer fact that it's not in the vision of Zack Snyder. So I think, and again, I understand what you guys are saying. I see that. The mall scene is, when I watched her flying around and stuff, it was very, in a way, I guess I would say surreal. It kind of took me out of that space of what was going on, because I was looking at it going like, wow, that's just a little too smooth the way they're doing it. I don't know, however they did it. But I think, again, I think that they need to, Terrence, like you said, you got to make your own opinion on it. And watching the movie is the only way to do that. Now, being placed underneath Suicide Squad, I mean, I liked Suicide Squad too. I don't know if I liked it as much as this. I'm with, I don't think this is, Wonder Woman's on par with the first one, but I don't necessarily think you can, you can compare it to the first one, because they're two totally different films. They're two totally different things going on. One is we know the character. The other one, we're learning about the character. And maybe that was a little bit of the disconnect too. But no, I don't agree. Or am I surprised by the fact that it's that low? Am I surprised, or do I agree with where?
Well, either or, whichever. Do you agree or are you surprised?
I'm a bit surprised. Yes. I am surprised how many people I've heard say that. I'll put it this way. I haven't watched a movie straight through with my kids since
they were kids.
No. Since Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
And even then, they sat down and they liked it. That tells me a lot from that point. Is they had issues with Rise of Skywalker, they didn't with this, and so I'm like, I guess I look at that as a bar for me, and I'm like, okay, well, obviously they did something right because my kids didn't get up and said I'm bored with this. They actually sat down and spent time with their dad, which at 15 and 18, that's asking the world. So, but I am surprised because Suicide Squad and Justice League are two movies that people crap on all the time, and I don't think this one's justified of that. I don't think it deserves that, but that's again my opinion. So,
Danny,
you muted.
I'm not surprised. I don't think I like Suicide Squad remotely better. Is Wonder Woman the worst movie I've ever seen? No, but to me, it was a letdown. I was underwhelmed. I was just shocked that I know Patty Jenkins had a vision. I just didn't think her vision worked on this. That's just my one personal opinion. If you like it, oh well, whoop-de-doo. I don't care.
Tell me how you really feel, Danny.
You say the same about me.
I mean, it's no.
I'm just saying. I mean,
you know?
the same way I don't care about that, I'm sure the person that liked it don't care what I think in this particular movie. So we're going to agree to disagree. I'm not saying to be a smart ass. I'm just saying if you like it, oh well. I don't. I ain't going to change your mind, and you damn sure ain't going to change my mind. That's what I'm saying. Now, would I go see Wonder Woman 3? I probably will. But it got to be better than this because I specifically paid $14.99 to watch Wonder Woman on Christmas Day, and I wanted my money back. So I'm hoping that the same person that I'm hearing, the same person that wrote one or had a hand in writing Wonder Woman, got a hand in writing Mortal Kombat. So that's giving me pause for cause to even watching that.
Oh no!
But I'm telling you, I now in the race against DC versus Marvel, they're behind. They had a chance to catch up and make some ground. To me, in my opinion, this movie pushed them back 4 or 5 steps because I don't think it would have made $1 billion had we not been going through this pandemic. I just don't see it. It could be. I think that it would have made a fantastic opening weekend, but word of mouth would have killed it. It's just about everybody who I know on YouTube and in the real world where I'm at now, where I live at, did not like it. Chris and Terrence like it here in YouTube. Here where I live at, there was one person in my office said he watched it and liked it. Everybody else was like, nah. So I'm just saying, I can only speak for me. I don't know about anybody else.
Gotcha. Terrence, you were going to say something?
Oh, the hell was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So, what I don't want from Patty is for her to focus too much on the criticism. And then she goes into the third movie dead. And what I mean by that is the passion that she had for doing the first two goes away. And then she just tries to zero in on what people want. And then that by in turn somehow ends up being worse than what we've seen.
Well,
I don't want that to happen to Patty.
She didn't write the first one.
No, I'm not talking about writing. I'm just talking about her ideals when it comes to the sense of direction. And when she makes suggestions to the studios, when it comes to Warner Brothers, they constantly told her, hey, do this, do that. And she had the power to say no. So stuff like that. I don't want her to just kind of shut up and just the studio hey, do this, do that. And she's like, okay, well, the fans, didn't like this and that. So, I guess whatever you want. I had some suggestions, but, just leave it alone. I feel like that would be very sad to get something like that. That would actually hurt me to hear that she was not excited about making the third movie in that way.
I think.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's absolutely right. I think that no matter what people say about this, no matter how far it goes down, if it's 50-50 by the end of it, but when it dies out, or if it dies out next week because everybody hates it, whatever. Don't end up doing what they did with Rise of Skywalker, which is try to please everybody and throw everything at it. Do what you've been doing. she loves this character. She is, and no matter what anybody wants to say, she treats this character with respect, and that's what made it. I think that's what made it good for me. That's definitely what made the first movie good, was that she had respect for the character she was presenting to. And as long as she keeps that in the passion, that's exactly what she needs to do. Yeah.
Right.
Before I go to Josh,
I like that about her too. You know, it's like it's unfortunate that it didn't work for everyone, but I'm like, I like hearing, I love the character, I read the comics, and this is what I want to do. You know, that makes me smile when I hear stuff like that.
and I'll say this, because if she loses the passion, we're definitely getting a bad movie. If you don't have passion in what you're doing, you're not going to put your all into it. You know, look what they did with Spider-Man 3. Remy didn't have the passion to do that movie anymore, and because of the studio involvement, and that's what we came up with. Josh, you had something to say on the topic, so what do you have to say, brother?
Yeah, to me, the biggest deficit is this 2.5 hour runtime. Maybe if the movie was an hour and a half, and if it didn't have all this fluff, I mean, it still wouldn't fix all these other problems like the Quantum Leap ripoff stuff, and the nukes disappearing, and spoilers, by the way. I don't know if I'm sure everybody here has seen it. Talking about these little aspects on it.
Just be
yeah, and
careful,
all those,
some of them didn't.
Okay, yeah, I won't get into the specifics then. But yeah, it was just really long and drawn out, and if you can condense a lot of these scenes and cut a lot of these scenes, like probably cut the opening scene. I understood the purpose of her, like, trying to win the race and yada yada yada, and I understood the mall, but the mall scene, that's one that can go, and there's a lot of other ones too that I won't get into specifics, but. Yeah, it was long and drawn out and really boring.
One more quick response, Anzo.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's my opinion, and I'm hoping that we all can agree on this, that DC is trying to play catch up with Marvel.
Oh,
when you're trying to play catch up, sometimes it throws you out of your game.
Yeah,
and sometimes you got to do things you normally wouldn't do in your game plan to try and gain ground. To me, this was a misstep, and DC can't afford any missteps if they want to catch Marvel. I agree 1,000% what I think Terrence said earlier. If you put Marvel on it, it would have been a different outcome. But because Marvel has the cachet, DC just doesn't have it. DC has the better characters. When you have the better characters, you got to have an excellent coach. And I'm going to use a baseball terminology. You got to hit a home run every time you go up the bat when you're trying to catch with Marvel now. You can't hit singles, you can't hit doubles, you can't hit triples. Your ass got to hit a home run every time until you can physically put your hand on Marvel's back. DC ain't there yet. This movie right here would have been a step in the right direction had it been positively received by the majority of the fans, but it just hasn't.
I feel that point. But the interesting thing is that, DC has been around a long time and they've been doing their thing longer than Marvel. And what I find to be interesting is whenever you have these moments of failures, quote unquote, and humans pissing on the DC name, they always find a way to come back. And they do it in just the most unexpected ways, like what you had with Joker, what you had with Aquaman. I mean, when you can just take the most made fun of superhero in the history of comic book characters and turn them into $1 billion franchise, that's some DC shit for you. They just come out of nowhere. They're like, oh, they're done. They failed. They always find a way to come back. So it's just a matter of like how, when, what character, what story. But they're going to come out with something else that, a large number of humans will praise, and it will be in the realms of a film. It's just a matter of which one. So I'm going to be patient because I know it's going to come. It always does.
Remember, though, Marvel did that with Iron Man.
Yeah.
They did that with Iron Man.
They took a huge risk.
Yeah,
very little money,
and I finally got to jump in there. That's just silly. Like, a franchise can die. We've watched franchises get murdered multiple times. Terminator, Predator, just so many different things. People will come back for the name a lot of the time just because they're either going to go there to go, oh, okay, how are you going to screw it up this time? or maybe they actually are going to cling on to a little hope. I think a perfect example is watching a lot of people clinging on to Mandalorian season 2. I don't think it's particularly well written either season, but you know, you have this big epic fan service episode and people are like, Star Wars is back, baby. And people will show up, they'll buy the merchandise, they'll do whatever. And if you like DC, you're going to show up for the movie. Even because, like, again, most people say Wonder Woman's probably the shining light in the DCEU anyway. So of course everybody was kind of excited for Wonder Woman 2. It's just we had to sit on it for so long, and then it comes out and it's just kind of a dud. Granted, I don't care.
They're gonna need a lot. They're gonna have to do a lot to save Predator. Like that shit is dead as fuck. Like
you know
the
what I
next
mean.
Predator movie is gonna have to be
mean.
a fucking masterpiece to save
But
the bullet.
Godzilla too.
You get the right names attached to it. You get the right marketing. You show me a good trailer. Most people will show up for it. You know,
even if they had a great cast for the next Predator movie, you're still talking about there has to be a lot of convincing. It's gonna be like, hey, Johnny, did you see Predator? Was it good? All right, fine. I'll go give it a shot. And then after that, then you can slowly build up. But they need some
just
work
like you said, that's word
in
of
that
mouth
particular
stuff.
area.
The internet
But
nowadays,
realistically, though, Guy Scar, to your point of Iron Man, you would not have Iron Man or the MCU without the first Blade movie.
No, I agree. I even mentioned that in one of our shows.
Blade had to be successful for us to get to this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I talked about that for years.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
So, I mean, that's important to mention, right? Like,
absolutely.
Because before Blade, you really did have 4 decades of failure from Marvel. A lot of humans don't like to talk about that, but that was the facts.
So, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Anzo even says that. He even mentioned to me in a private conversation. He goes, "Guys, you're just a DC hater, right?" I grew up mostly with Marvel, and the reason why I grew up mostly with Marvel is because I had trouble connecting to characters in the DC universe.
Wow,
right? That was my personal thing.
See, and I prefer DC, but now I watch more Marvel movies. So,
and I shifted to in the books and stuff like that. I shifted more into Marvel. There were titles that did draw my attention, like the Batman titles, you know, the Killing Joke and things like that, right? That I did. Lobo, when it came out with its limiter series, I bought that series too, right? So there were certain DC titles that did grab my attention. But when I'm watching the movies, I'm watching the movies for what they are, the movie, not the books, not anything. And that movie, for me, just did not do it. Like Josh was saying, the scenes were too long. If they would have compressed it, I would have said, yeah, I liked it just as much as the first one, because I liked the first one. But
yeah, I you know what, guys, I believe you because you've explained yourself, right? So that's important, number one. And number two, I believe that I told you in another stream that there is a DC story for everyone. You just have to be introduced to that. You know what I mean? So like for me,
these movies are intended to be. Like
so for me, I love both. I love both DC and Marvel. I'm a bigger DC fan, but I grew up with both. You know, so I like characters from both sides. And at the end of the day, I just want to see a good show or a good movie. However, I do believe, based on my readings from both sides, that DC has better characters and story, but you have to translate that. And the execution has to be on point, because even though Marvel found a way to get away from 4 decades of failure, they have a continuous streak in terms of how often they put out these films that everybody likes.
Right.
To where DC, their failures are not as extensive as others make it sound, but they're more in recent memory, right? Like, oh, that last bad one was like last year. This last bad one was 2 years ago.
Right.
But it goes back to what I said about how they can always find a way out, and you get stuff like Joker and Aquaman. But what they need is something more continuous, which means that, let's say they're coming out with 5 movies. Out of the 5, you want 4 of them to be home runs, just because the criticism is going to be there. So they need to do that for them. I know that they can, but they have to do it.
But that's the thing. Their execution, DC's execution, was just terrible. Because just after watching this movie with my kids, right? We watched just like Chris, he watched this with his kids. My daughters are 15 and 18. My eldest loves Wonder Woman, right? I'm trying to get her to read the books. I said, if you love her, just read the comic books. I'll get you whatever you want. But just going back, we started watching Justice League. We watched Man of Steel, right? Those were entertaining movies. But when I watched Justice League again, I looked at this. I'm like, what the fuck? This is a bite off of the freaking Infinity Stones. I have to get these cubes and bring them down to this thing in order to make this powerful being come. It was just.
Can I?
Hold on.
I just want to get in really quick.
Go ahead,
Who do you want to go first?
No, you go ahead, Chris. Chris, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say two things here. One, Guyskar said the most important thing I've ever heard a person who's read comic books say recently, and I've said it too. And you're not the first person to say it, but right now it got on me. That's why comic books are dying, is because they don't let you connect. They try to connect to you. They're trying to make characters to connect to people, not the other way around. The reason why people got interested in comic books was because they found a character, they latched onto that character because it said something to them. Same thing goes for movies. If your character in the movie doesn't latch on, if somebody doesn't latch onto that character, it doesn't work. You can't make a character for a group of people because then it's forced and it feels forced. The other thing, Danny said it best when he said this movie won't make $1 billion. I said before these movies came out, before this and Black Widow, and I don't think you, Anzo, you or Danny said I was wrong. I said I thought Black Widow was going to do better than Wonder Woman. And what's so funny is I said what happens if this is a bad movie? What happens when it doesn't get what everybody thinks it's going to do, or whatever? That's before we had the whole pandemic stuff and all that. But I said, what happens if this does stink or all that? And here I am. I like the movie, and yet it's going the way I thought it might. It's kind of funny because I think, honestly, I won't say I do believe I'll like Black Widow more. I do. Because I've been waiting for that movie, but this should give you pause to think what Black Widow might not do.
That's true.
They've sat on these movies for a while.
I had made some guarantees. I was like, number one, Black Widow is going to do better than Wonder Woman 1984.
I said that
in every single way.
Mm-hmm.
And also that's not including the fact that it's Marvel. Like, forget that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You just from the trailers alone, you're talking about it's going to be action heavy. That alone is going to win a lot of humans over that were saying that they wanted more action from Wonder Woman 1984. And even if the movie has the weakest plot we have ever seen, because of all the action that's going to be in the movie, that's going to win people over. That is enough. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. Remember I said I'm not surprised about how a lot of humans feel about Wonder Woman 1984? I will be surprised if Black Widow comes out and then humans are like, oh, I didn't like it. This is a bad MCU movie. We ain't going. I'll be surprised if I hear that kind of stuff.
Got you. Pickles, you haven't said anything? Oh, Eli, you had something to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a couple things to say about this. If anybody recalls, whatever DC does, Marvel mirrors it, and whatever Marvel does, DC mirrors it. Before Justice League got thrown to shit when the tragedy happened to Jack Snyder, Justice League was supposed to be DC's version of the Marvel extended universe, the Marvel movies, extended universe, all this sort of stuff. But Snyder had a death in the family. That Justice League bombed because the director did his own little damn thing, whatever. If you guys remember the Mummy, the series, they were supposed to kick off a whole project of series. The Mummy bombed. The series bombed. DC's basically counting on this to make sure that their Flash will be successful, their Batman will be successful, because since, like I said, they're mirroring what Marvel does. Marvel is having multiverses like Doctor Strange and Spider-Man. So is DC. They want to make sure that these characters actually cross over all the time. This is what they're going to do with the Flash, Batman, and I forgot who said it, Nubia in the chat. up earlier, Nubia and Wonder Girl could possibly part 3, because if they're going to have these crossovers, they can have Nubia as the alternate Wonder Woman and a Wonder Girl. I mean, you get different perspectives. If you want to go the woke movement, have all powerful women cast. I mean, I'm not surprised that this thing actually didn't go bad, because if you actually look at Justice League and the Wonder Woman standalone movie, the first one, you're thinking, wait a minute, where was all these abilities in those movies? I read online that Patty Jenkins said that she's going to address some of this stuff in the third movie.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I love that you. I love that you said that. Yeah.
She listens to fans. Because her father was a fighter pilot, and she asked all her friends and stuff like, "Hey, what should I work on?" It's like, well, how about a Star Wars fighting movie? So that's what she came up with, Rogue Squadron. I can't talk. Rogue Squadron. You know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. And she's listening to all these fans' inputs about Wonder Woman 84. I know she's going to implement this in the Wonder Woman 3. It's like, okay, they don't like this. How can I appease the fans? How can I make this good? How can I make the story worthwhile? How can I tell this without being all cheesy, so so fans will not reject this movie? She's going to listen. She does listen. She's a fan herself.
But the whole thing is that now you're going to have the Zack Snyder cut for Justice League coming out. You're going to have a bunch and there's already a ton of continuity issues with Wonder Woman 84. So even if go ahead.
Snyder said the Wonder Woman fight scenes will mirror the 84 Wonder Woman. He said it's going to be more intense, more hardcore.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I saw that too, Eli, when he was talking to Grace Randolph.
He did say that.
But my issue would be, I mean, you got to understand that when it comes with DC, people have been shitting on it for a while because it's a misstep. Most of those films are not divisive because we're like, oh, was it good or bad? It's like, no, like people are actually mad on a fundamental level. Like they're like, that's not my Superman. That's not my Batman. That's not my, and people have had a disconnect with it for the most time. And then you actually have the actual technical issues with the story, with the editing, with all that stuff. Yeah. They've just never been able to hit it. So when you're talking about Black Widow, there's just more investment with the universe, regardless of whether or not, because you can talk to me all day. I'm going to shit on 50% of the MCU films because most of them are mediocre at best.
Yeah, that's true.
But because they're so intertwined, you have an investment for the sake of the story. That's why people read the comic books, because they want to know every iteration. They want to do all that stuff. And this is the first time I think normies get that chance to do something like that on this kind of level. And again, this is one of those things. One of the first tragedies the MCU has really befell at this point is losing Chadwick Boseman. Rest in power. That dude is the first tragedy the MCU has had. They are so lucky that in almost over a decade, they haven't lost any actors. Nobody left. Nobody died. Most of the people wanted to stay on. This is unheard of, and it will never be done again. It's just not going to. Like me, after Endgame, my investment pretty much dropped. I really only cared for a couple of things, and maybe, hopefully, some of the Disney Plus stuff will ring true. But I know for a lot of people, their investment died with Tony and Cap walking out. So we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, it all goes. But I think it's really unfair to even put, because I would even say, don't try and judge Wonder Woman 84 from the cinematic universe, because that thing's been broken since day one. You have to really work on their merits, because I mean, again, Patty Jenkins didn't write that first script. She got to write this one, and it sounds like she's going to get a lot more power even still going to the third one. So it's going to be a lot different. And I think it's really unfair to try and do that, because we all know that DC's playing catch up and they're just not doing a very good job. So I think it's unfair to try and compare them.
John and Eli, I think, they both made some really good points. Now, before I go to Eli, I wanted to address what John was saying about, about Iron Man and Cap. Let's be real. Their best characters are Iron Man and Cap. Every other character comes after that. That's why they keep trying to go back to those characters. They need those characters.
They were the least popular Marvel characters before the movie started out.
Exactly.
Yes. Like, nobody made him a household name.
Right, like nobody gave a fuck about those characters, and then they came out with cool movies, and then boom, everybody loves them. So that is true that they need those two characters. So the momentum has to be built up to where it was when Iron Man and Cap were in their prime. That's very true. And then to Eli's point about Marvel mirroring DC and vice versa, I'm like, first of all, there was an Endgame like scene in Aquaman and Justice League way before Endgame came out. And nobody gives it credit because those movies are not as good or as valued as Endgame. And then in terms of the multiverse stuff, you go all the way back to Smallville and what the Arrowverse has been doing for the last 8.5 years with different Earths and universes and stuff. I'm like, they had that dialed in long before. Yeah, they had that dialed in before. Whether or not someone, likes it or not is irrelevant. But that whole, multiverse thing, I'm like, DC has done that in spades. But when Marvel does it, if the execution is on point, they will be praised. Oh, look at what they did. It's so new and inventive. Then I'm going to be one of the individuals to go, no, it's not. You just happen to like it better.
Well,
didn't the MCU start before the Arrowverse?
Hold on, Chris and John. I want LDG to talk. Danny, hold on, guys. I want LDG to talk. He hasn't said nothing yet.
What? How is that possible?
Trust me. He was patient.
Wow.
Go ahead, Pickles.
All right, so like I was saying, good points all around, guys. And yes, I am glad that these movies are, if they're doing one thing, at least it's getting people to read the comics, to read the original story, except for those of you who actually try reading the comic book Infinity Wars, you realize that's not even the right story about the Infinity Gauntlet. But besides that, it's getting people back. It's getting people back to the comics. I do appreciate that. Sorry, I liked Suicide Squad better than Wonder Woman 80. Wonder Woman. I'm sorry. I loved Suicide Squad. I don't know who the hell thought Suicide Squad sucked. It had some great scenes. Up and down, left and right.
I mean, a news flash. I like Suicide Squad better too, but just.
Absolutely loved it. I wish they made a sequel. I don't know what the hell what the big hiss about that movie was.
They are making.
The Joker was the only thing that kind of.
They're making a sequel, dude.
It's coming.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying already. It already should have came out. Yeah, it should already be out. Yeah, but the only thing that I would have liked to see in Wonder Woman, if they just would have added, because they added that last credit scene, right, with the old, the after credit scene. No spoiler. I've
seen it, but people haven't.
The one scene I would have loved, I would have given Wonder Woman a couple extra points. Is all those people that took the wishes back. You saw that one lady that wished for $1 million getting out of a limo, saying, "Yeah, you guys are crazy." That would have been awesome. At the end.
All right, Chris and Danny.
Sorry, can I say one? Sorry. What I did not understand was how the hell does she make two wishes? She becomes just like Linda Carter.
That is a spoiler. I would be able to explain the shit out of that with ease, but that is a spoiler.
No spoilers. So we'll get into that another time.
I just argue that this movie is literally just ripping off Return of Jafar. That's what I'm going to put it out there.
My wife said that.
This is Return of Jafar, 100%.
Danny and Chris.
Yeah.
Danny,
fucking freed the genie at the end.
Let Danny go first.
Oh my gosh, I see it now, dude.
Elihu, let Danny go. Jeez, come on.
Dropping bombs.
Danny.
I'm just going to say about, I think something Terrence said. I don't think people, well, I'm going to speak for me. I don't hate DC or like Marvel more than DC. I just think that Marvel did it better. DC you made the comments that nobody cared about Iron Man or Captain America, and they became a household name once Marvel took them over. They did it better because Batman and Superman was household names for years, but DC just dropped the ball. So
yeah, that movie was terrible. The theatrical cut, I'm
just saying.
May I throw out the greatest?
Hold on, let him finish. Let Danny finish.
You cannot hate the fact that Marvel, Kevin Feige, whoever else involved, took something that was mediocre and made it great, and they're using the formula. I know people love to use this word formulaic. I don't give a shit about formulaic. Marvel Marvel has got enough cachet, and we all say this before. Well, some of us say this on the different channels. If you just put that Marvel insignia on that, it's going to get you automatically $500 million. That's just the power that they have now, or they had. And I think they still got it before this pandemic. So I'm not mad at that. If you bust your ass and you work hard and you made something happen, and now you cashing off of it, I don't care. So if I was DC, if I was the executives in DC, I'd be like, look, we gonna take a page out of the New England Patriots. We gonna Spygate. We gonna send some people over there, see what the fuck they doing, and try to bring it back and recreate it and do something. Because what they're doing now is not working. And the last time I checked, the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different response. So
they need to get the right individuals over there. That is number one. Because
Good job, Dan.
the fact that I can come up with 1 million ideas in less than a minute and they haven't even touched them is concerning to me, because I'm not one of these professionals. They should be able to do way better than what I can come up with. But my thing is, I love Marvel. I own all the MCU movies. I own a lot of Marvel movies. I've seen them all many times, and I'm happy that they're successful. I love Marvel, but at the same time, I still have to be fair when it comes to critiquing and talking about them. They're very far from perfect, but what they are is successful. That's the difference.
That is correct. Chris, go ahead.
I was going to bring up, John does bring up a good point that after Endgame, after Cap and Iron Man, with the actors who were playing it, and a lot of these actors going off, I know it's been a constant, question mark of how are they going to keep this popularity up. I think that's going to tell you exactly what Disney thinks of their own films. Is that if it starts slipping, I've said this, I still believe Robert Downey Jr. is going to be back in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And I still think that
Chris Evans.
Thank you, Evans. Chris Evans, I think he'll be back too. I think they'll do that because that will be the way to get the people back in the seats. Or they've got to find somebody who can become what they were to this series.
I want him to come back too, Chris. Yeah. So he can get his ass whooped for messing up the timeline. Yeah.
Oh, that's fine too. But but until they do that, I mean, is there anybody? I'll watch these movies, but the only ones I'm interested in heavily are the Doctor Strange movie and the Black Widow movie. Because
Chris, I got a question, Chris.
Yeah.
I got a question, Chris. What's wrong if they bring them back? What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
I think they should. I think it cheapens.
I've said that they're going to be back. I think that that's going to really just, again, Disney never admits failure, but they do things that make you realize when they know they're wrong. But they're never going to admit failure. But if they bring those two back, that's going to be their way of saying, hey, look, guys, look what we did for you. Here you go. And that's going to be them saying, oh, God, we needed to find somebody who could handle.
Don't forget they lie to the public, too.
They always do, yeah.
So,
if you got two geese that's laying golden eggs, why would you kill them?
Well, yeah.
It's Disney.
If you got two geese that's laying golden eggs, why would you kill them?
So here, two quick statements and then a question to pose. One, I'm going to go with the Chris Evans stuff. As much as a fan, don't get me wrong, I'm a hypocrite. I would enjoy seeing them again. It would be great, but I do think it cheapens their exit, which was this big 10-year culmination thing. So that could cheapen it already. I already don't really like the film, but I do really think that the third act is probably the strongest part. Therefore, I'd hate for you to weaken it. Second, just to throw it out there for Suicide Squad fans, I think Suicide Squad has one of the coolest moments ever in a creepy movie when the witch does that weird thing where her ghosty hand comes up and they flip. And that's one of the coolest things I've ever fucking seen. Also,
Yeah.
Now I'm going to pose the question because you guys keep bringing it up. The idea of putting the Marvel mark on, and you're instant half a bill or whatever you want to call it, whatever money. In this age, do you really think right now, with a little bit of what Disney's been doing and kind of the crap behind the scenes, because I know a lot of people from now, like right now, they're really soured on Disney. And you're seeing it with Lucasfilm. Are you sure you're not going to really see that with Marvel, or do you think they're actually still going to be safe from it?
They're going to be safe, John, because
I got a response for that.
Just curious.
People don't like Kathleen Kennedy. That's why Star Wars is taking a beat. People like Kevin Feige. That's why until he does something stupid, they're going to support him.
Yeah, John, when I saw that Marvel panel when they were announcing all the Marvel shows and movies
and stuff, yeah.
When he got to Captain, like I'm excited about all of it to varying degrees.
Sure.
When he got to Captain Marvel 2, I was less excited. But what I noticed his brilliance was when he said, "We're bringing Captain Marvel back, but this time we're gonna have Kamala Khan and Monica Rambeau." Both characters, now all three of those characters.
Kamala, to be honest.
But here's the thing though, John. Like all three of those characters, I think have just really bad comic books. But Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan as characters are better than Carol Danvers' Captain Marvel. So I think that Kevin Feige was aware of the criticism, and putting those characters in her movie gives a failsafe. Well, if they don't like her, they're definitely going to like these characters. And that actually made me smile because I thought it was a smart move. So because of Kevin Feige's brilliance, I think he knows how to ensure that we're all going to come back. Not just Marvel fans, but even the average person. Like, oh, you think you're done? How about this Shang-Chi movie? How about some Blade and some Moon Knight? Like, there's going to be something that we're going to be too curious about to stay away. And for me, I'm gonna come back no matter what. Even
Now I heard Blade not going to be a movie; it's going to be a TV series.
Yeah, I heard that too. Blade.
That was a rumor because at the Marvel panel, he said that was going to be a movie they were working on.
Okay.
So I mean, we'll see, but that seems to be what the plan is for us to get a movie, but. With the whole R-rated stuff on Disney Plus, if that's the case, then I'm like, hey, I don't care where you put it as long as it's good. But I'm going to be there. I'm even going to be there for Ironheart, which is, oh my God. I'm like, why would you do an Ironheart show? You're bringing us a tokenized version of Iron Man. I'm like, man.
Don't give me that.
Like,
They made a girl version of the Rocketeer. Hurt my soul.
Yeah, I'm like,
Damn
look,
it, Disney.
if I end up liking that Ironheart show, I will applaud Kevin Feige because I damn sure didn't like her fucking comic books. I'll tell you that.
What about Dr. Doom? He's just an Iron Man wannabe. He's just a guy in an Iron Man wannabe outfit in the dress.
What?
No, not
Doom is not even close to Phantom Zone his ass, please.
Hey, man, Dr. Doom.
That's absurd.
Do you hear something? You want to bring up Dr. Doom? Look. Hey, look, Fantastic Four.
I'm really
I want to see.
Go ahead, Josh.
No, I was gonna say I'm really excited.
Hey, I want to
Doctor
see what
Strange.
Kevin Feige does with Doctor Doom.
Okay, and
I was gonna say, I'm really excited for Doctor Strange. That's what I want to see the most. I hear there's going to be a lot of horror elements to it. So
yes,
and I actually am kind of curious what they're going to do with Fantastic Four. If they're finally going to make a good Fantastic Four movie for the first time.
No origin. Please, no origin. Please,
no origin.
Honestly, they got to do.
Please,
look, I don't care if they do an origin or not.
Me neither.
I'm tired.
Hey, I don't care if they do an origin or not, as long as that shit is good. Because, oh man, there's no such thing as a good Fantastic Four movie, and I'm just like, what I think he can do with Doctor Doom can be so incredible. You know what I mean? Because, I've read plenty of Fantastic Four comic books. I've never cared about that team. I like the Thing, but not the team as a whole. But Doctor Doom is one of the reasons why I kept getting their damn comic books. I want to see him wreck their shit. He was just always such a cool, badass villain. So if nothing else, if I watch that Fantastic Four movie and I'm like, man, this team is fucking whack, and then Doctor Doom comes up and steps up the whole movie, then I'm like, see, that's what I was waiting on seeing, because I think
What about
we can get something cool in the way of
what about
Fantastic Four.
Galactus though? Galactus instead of Doctor Doom or somebody else.
I
Have
think
you seen Doctor Doom?
I think Galactus
I
will
love
be
that. I love that you mentioned that, because Galactus is who I think they're building up to. In fact, that was one of my ideas. You know what I mean? Like Galactus coming in and shit. Like
a Thanos was.
I gotta get that.
Actually, Galactus and not a shadow.
I blame Captain Marvel for fucking up the next phase. After you did the Thanos stuff, I think it would have been really smart to bring it back to just on the planet and let the Guardians go do their thing. We come back to Earth and we did the Secret War stuff with the Skrulls. But they fucked that all up.
They already fucked up the Skrulls and Captain Marvel. That's the shit that pisses me off.
Right, we could have had a whole phase of that.
Hold on, before we finish up, I'll just say about this. There is a Skrulls, I think it's a series, and they're actually going to
Secret
Invasion, and it's actually going to be a faction of the Skrulls that are doing the Secret Invasion. So
they better not.
They're going to have they're going to have bad Skrulls. So
that's what they should have done.
Yeah, Anzo, that's a good point, Anzo. You're right. I saw that and I was just like, I'll tell you what. Them Skrulls better be. They better be so fucking bad.
I think what they were trying to do is sell us on. Listen, everybody was talking when that came out. They were like, "Wait a minute, that doesn't make sense because that's not how it is." I think that they were just playing it off, because here's the thing: they'll have all the people. Wait, stop, John. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Sword exists.
I think that they are playing it off so people who don't know all about this are going to be surprised. It's going to be like, what? Oh, I thought they were the good guys. And all of us right now are talking about going like, what the hell are they doing? They're screwing it up. They get both sides talking about it. And then when we get if we get Secret Invasion and it turns out to be the way we know it, we're going to be like, okay, now I get it. Now I see where they're going. And then like, what the hell? What's going on?
So you know what, Chris?
You haven't learned anything yet. They're not going to give it the way it's supposed to be. I mean, did you watch Endgame?
Oh my goodness,
Chris, you know what I think, man?
No, I saw Far From Home.
This might be another Iron Man 3 situation. You remember when they fucked up the Mandarin twice in the same movie?
Yeah.
Maybe they're doing some slick shit. You know, they're like, well, them Skrulls weren't well received, so let's like backtrack and bring in the bad ones.
Here's my thing.
They are doing Shaolin and the Ten Rings.
Because the whole thing is
they are.
Let me put it this way. If you're right, I will be a happy Baldman. But as of right now, thanks to Far From Home and them essentially starting up Sword or whatever, it doesn't feel like they're going to do that. But if they do that, that would be really nice. I kept saying that the whole Endgame blip snap thing, it's built in for Secret Invasion. Imagine all these people are gone for 5 years. They magically come back, and then you have Skrulls taking over some of them. All that shit was built in. You would have no idea who was who came back, who disappeared, who was already here for 5 years. They completely tanked it, and it's so annoying just for me. The shit.
And I'll say that, and before we go, because we're on 2 hours, so we're going to close it up just now.
Sorry.
But the last thing I will say is I agree with that, but at the end of the day, right, there are some good Skrulls, and there's definitely some bad Skrulls. So we're going to probably see a faction going up against each other, and that's how they're going to do the Secret Invasion thing. So, hey, man, if they do that, I'll be happy.
Do you guys count the Dark?
Yeah, as long as they make them, really bad, Anzo, because those cowardly Skrulls that just wanted to find a home, I was like, what the fuck kind of Skrull is this? No.
And what were you gonna say, Josh?
No, I was saying, do you guys count the Dark Phoenix Skrulls? They were really bad too. Even though they didn't call them the Skrulls, I think that they were supposed to be.
They were supposed to be the Skrulls, but because of Marvel, they had to change them to what they were. So they were technically supposed to be the Skrulls, but with that being said, what's that, Danny?
Tatari, what they were called, wasn't it?
No, Tatari was
you're thinking of Avengers.
Avengers, yeah. I can't remember what they were called. Have to go back.
The Skull and the Kree.
No. In terms of Dark Phoenix, like man, they were like some generic aliens. I was like, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not a
There was
huge.
a
I'm
star
not a big
in
comic
there.
book guy. Flash. I see it kind of troll it in the chats a lot. I'm not a huge comic book guy. I don't really care. I judge the movies on their merits. That's what I do.
With that being said, we're going to go around the panel so that people can talk about their channels. And I will say first, before I appreciate all you guys coming out to hang out for the final episode of Chaos List of 2020. It was fun. I appreciate everybody. All you guys here are something special. You know what I mean? I appreciate every single one of you. Danny, tell the people about your channel, sir.
I'm Danny, AKA Comic Chat. I share several channels. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. We got you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
We hear you.
Right. I am Danny, AKA Comic Chat. Okay. I share several shows with Anzo and Chris. We have the Chaos conversation on Mondays, the Chaos List tonight. Tomorrow will be the Rule of Three. We used to have Equilibrium. That's kind of on hiatus, but I will plan to bring it back next month, February. Well, not January, but February. Square One, the sports show we talk. We will be back on Square One. Well, I'll be back on Square One the Saturday before Super Bowl. So please join us. We will have a lot to talk about. This was a very informative show, thought-provoking. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed being with all you guys. And thanks again, Anzo. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for coming. Chris Knight.
Excellent job.
You're up. Thank you.
Yeah. Real Review 3000. I am currently at 4,895. I need 105 more subscribers in about 3 days' time. If you guys want to see me do a 72-hour stream, I'm trying to get to 5,000 by January 1st of 2021 at the stroke of midnight, where it switches over to January 2nd. That's when that goal's going to be gone. So if I'm not 5,000, we'll figure out something else for a farther goal, because I'm pretty sure I'll be at 5,000 and we'll do something, but it won't be the 72-hour stream. But if you guys would like to, spread the word around for me, please. Also, spread the word around about Chaos Central's YouTube channel. We are 5 away from 100, and we would be very grateful if you go over there, and if you are not subbed, to sub. 5 more subscribers, and we can get our vanity title. It's really easy to get there right now because we've set it up through the Chaos Central YouTube or Chaos Central website. If you go to youtube.chaoscentral.com, that's the easy way to get there. But we still would like to have that YouTube vanity title. Makes it a lot easier for you guys to find us when we do these 3 streams. We are, we have things coming up next year. New stuff coming, new shows, a lot of stuff on the horizon for Chaos Central that involves, of course, Danny and Anzo and myself, and just some exciting stuff. We won't go into it just yet, but we will be talking about that very soon. Make sure you go sub to everybody here. And with that said, guys, again, great show. Anzo, great intro, man. I sat there and I looked at that intro and I was like, dude, that guy, thank you. That was awesome. And, Danny, Anzo, the rest of you guys too, but Danny and Anzo, guys, this has been a great year. I think we're hitting a good stride now. We've got this stuff locking in, and I really appreciate it from you guys. The work that you've put towards a vision that I've had for a while. So I appreciate it very much.
Appreciate it too. Thank you. Gaishka, you're next, my friend.
Well, thank you for having me on, man. You can find me on Sundays on The Real Review with Chris. Mondays on the Chaotic Conversation with Danny, Chris, and Anzo as well. And on Tuesdays on the Chaos List right now. And on Wednesdays on the OOC with Anzo and my brother from Uptown, Roberto, where we keep things off our chest and we get everybody talking. Again, if it wasn't for Anzo, I wouldn't be on here and I wouldn't have met all of you. So great appreciative, a great way to end the year. That intro was fire, uptown style, like I know you can do it. So no doubt there. And seriously, hit that bell, subscribe, spread the word. Let's get let's get that 72-hour stream going for Chris.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, man.
JJ, my boy, you are next, my friend. What is up? Unmute.
Anyway, well, yeah. I had to make sure I started running my mouth. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JJ. You can find me Sundays on Chris Knight's channel and Han Star's channel later on that evening. Monday nights on my own, and Tuesday nights with these fine gentlemen. I like hanging out here. I like having these discussions most of the time. And as long as Anzo quit throwing me under the bus with these honorable mentions,
Nope.
I get one every week, it seems like.
Yep.
But anyway, and you can find me back around on Thursdays, sometimes on Chris's channel. I just wanted to say, Anzo, great show, great fire intro. You know that. I'm humbled. I appreciate you guys adopting me on, and let's see what the year becomes.
Thank you, JJ. Do appreciate that too. LDG, you are up, my friend.
Hey, I just want to say, if it wasn't for me, I wouldn't be able to say. If it wasn't for Anzo, I wouldn't be having this much fun. Anzo, great show. Appreciate what you do, my friend. Killer intro, guys. It's cool having a YouTube community where you have all these different flavors of ice cream, and you can pick what you want. My flavor, if anything, has been unique. I could say the least, say the most. If you have any computer issues, hit me up on LDG Pixels. If you have nothing else to do and no one's streaming, hit me up on Pixelate, guys. We hang out. Just try to do something in tough times and spread the word about Prometheus, guys, because it's time we have a public platform. Something that we don't have all the bullshit on, especially what's been going on with Star Wars theory and all the censorship and stuff that we've been having. That's going to be my contribution, and that's what I push on my channels. But until then, let's have some fun, hang out. And Anzo, thanks again, boss. And I hope next year is even better than this year. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on. Elihu, you are up, my friend. You're muted, though. There you go.
I did that on purpose.
It's the best way to have them.
Where are you? Well, a lot of people want to hear me talk on Wednesday, so because every Wednesday at 12 noon, I have my own little science show. Like everybody else here, I do not talk about comic books, cartoons, movies, music reviews, or trying to guess who the masked dancer is. I have a science show called What's Up with the Universe, where we talk astronomy, astrophysics, all sciencey fun. Hey, dude, this is a cool show, man. I really love the intro. Totally awesome.
Thank you.
Man. I like that. I didn't think it was the one with me and my shades. If you happen to be an insomniac or stay up at night for whatever odd reason, or if you're on the other side of the pond, I also hang out on Jedi Bill 797 Insomniac Soup, where we talk about everything and anything. So I'm also on Twitter. You can catch me on Chris Knight's channel, sometimes hanging out with the Wilson Fisk lookalike wannabe, LDG Pickles. And like I said, I'm everywhere and anywhere at the same time.
Excellent. Appreciate that. Now to get on to the special guest that came on today, Terrence, my brother from another mother. Tell the people about your channel, please.
Yo, what's up, humans? It's Terrence. Anzo, I appreciate you inviting me on. I know, I'd be doing my own thing, and sometimes humans be getting frustrated, like, damn, where the fuck is Terrence? But when you texted me, I was doing my training, and I was like, you know what? I'll come on, chill with my boy Anzo, for you humans that are listening, Anzo is like a brother to me. So, I'd take a bullet for this dude, in a second.
Yeah.
And, I feel like even though we're not related DNA wise, he's definitely a brother. And so, yeah, I appreciate him a lot. And, when it comes to my channel, you can find me on T-Virus Terrence. And I'm not sure if you were here earlier when I was talking about the channel, but there's a lot of stuff there, thousands of videos, and everything's organized into playlists. And, pretty much on my channel, I just talk about, it could be movies, comics, or how I feel about a game character. I mean, virtually anything. Nothing is really off limits when it comes to being discussed on my channel. There's a lot of stuff there where, if you got like a weak ass spine, you ain't gonna be able to handle that shit. You might want to go somewhere else. But if your mind is open and you're not too sensitive, I feel like, you're gonna really appreciate and respect the different viewpoints that I have on so many things. And I had to deal with certain things this year, like Danny betraying me and stuff. Not doing equilibrium. And
Wow.
yeah, but like I feel like Danny. Danny's also a brother too. So shout out to Danny. But like I'm telling you, like I'm like Danny, we doing equilibrium. Like nah. I gotta work. Gotta stop these criminals. I'm like, all right, Danny. Let's see how it is. Yeah, I feel like whenever I be texting Danny, man, he be out there dealing with them criminals and stuff. I'm like, he about Terrence, hello. All right, I'll get at you later. I'm like, oh damn, what the hell's
He's
going
our
on
own little
there?
star girl. He's busy fighting crime.
Hey, Terrence, tell me again, how much money does Equilibrium pay me?
Oh, that's a good question for the humans listening. We don't make a goddamn thing, but I mean, but I feel like the fact that friendship is better than money. You know what I mean?
My Little Pony. Friendship is mad.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Money you can replace, but hey, when you got your brothers and stuff, Danny, like they hard to come by.
I can't put friendship on the plate.
Well, I mean, Danny, it's all Danny. You're gonna be able to do that as soon as I take over the world. Like, everybody that's cool with me, y'all gonna be eating, and everything gonna be good.
Oh, that's why you went with T-Virus. Got
Narf. Narf.
Okay, look. Hey, for you humans that don't know me, I don't like most humans. I'm just gonna be real about that. But there are some, you know what I mean. Like the individuals on this panel, I feel like anyone on this panel that is not technically a brother of mine, I feel like I'm cool with all of them. I respect them, they respect me, and all that kind of stuff. So there definitely are some humans out there that are not trash. You know what I mean? So
indeed,
sometimes in life you just got to have conversations and be on panels, and you never know what may happen when you do that.
Absolutely. And I do appreciate you coming in. Next special guest we had was another Equilibrium partner. We haven't done a stream in a while. John, I do appreciate you coming on. Tell the people about your channel and what you're doing for the new year, brother.
I'm special like I need a helmet. Anzo, I appreciate you having me on, man. I really like to mirror a lot of that from Terrence. Somehow I ended up on some random Star Wars streams, and then met Chris, and then Danny and Anzo came out of nowhere, and before I knew it, I'm on Equilibrium talking about Stargirl. Didn't see that coming, and we had some really good discussions. Terrence taught me a bunch. Anzo put me in my place, and Danny pretty much just shook his head and got mad at all of us like a dad. Danny, I do look forward to you, the new job kind of slowing down, hopefully bring us back, because especially if Terrence and Anzo can stand me, I must be doing something relatively okay. But it's been nice meeting a lot of you guys. It's nice to be on here, especially celebrating with Anzo because he's been working his ass off. It's really showing, and it's really, really impressive what you guys are putting together here. I guess for the sake of shilling, you can see my handle. I'm on Twitter. Otherwise, you can look at Baldman Bad. That's my gaming / I might start doing some movie stuff. I might be getting into the political game, but don't worry, you don't got to watch that. I understand how that can be fucking annoying. Otherwise, BMB Studios, that's kind of like my old archive. I used to do a lot of editing, mashup stuff, short films, things like that. So you can always check that out if you want, or if you just want to see me shit post on Twitter, go nuts. Otherwise, hopefully Equilibrium will be coming back soon, or you guys get bored and need somebody to send to the Phantom Zone. I'm always welcome to talk to you guys because you're always really, really impressive, really, really enlightening, and damn it, just a lot of fun.
Appreciate it, John. And again, I thank you for coming on. And last but not least, Josh, thank you for coming on. I know I sent you the link late, but I was like, you know what? Let me just bring on the people that I've streamed with. So I do appreciate it. Tell the people about your channel, sir.
Dude, first off, this is like the Avengers Endgame of streams, man. We had a lot of characters. We had a lot of characters on, and it looked like it could have been difficult. But my boy Anzo is like the Russo brothers, Anzo and Danny, man. They put it together, and I wanted to thank both of them, man, for giving me this shot and a chance, on an unknown. And I know I'm not always here, but when I am, I try to bring my A game, and that's all I want to do is bring value to the show and to the panel. And I'm grateful for both of them, Anzo and Danny, and I hope and everybody else here. I like you guys a lot. This is a great discussion, a great stream. I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Hopefully 2021 will kick 2020's ass, and we'll have a lot of new movies to talk about. Check out my group if you're a content creator, which I know most of you in the stream are. You can post your stuff, share your stuff freely. It's called Movie Aficionados. It's on Facebook. I'm also on Twitter and some other platforms. And I have my YouTube channel. There's going to be a lot of content there too. So again, thank you guys, and Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. And I do appreciate all you guys that came in tonight. I can't say it again. It's very humbling to know that I can have you guys to come out and hang out with me. You know what I mean? I do respect every single one of you. I respect what we're doing on YouTube and what we're trying to build. Hopefully 2021 will be a lot better than 2020. It's hard times out there right now, but man, we just got to keep our head up, keep doing what we're doing. Hopefully we can entertain people in this time. I know here right now in Canada, we're locked down till January the 11th. So hopefully, people can come in and just get away from all the shit that's going on and enjoy some content. I just want to have some fun, and this is what we've been doing. So I do appreciate that. With that being said, guys, we are out. Everybody say peace, respect.
Oh, Anzo.
Yes, Terrence.
I wanted to say, so yeah, this is not a 10-hour stream or nothing.
I mean, I'm still good. We go another 5 hours. Let's go.
No, next year we'll have a 10-hour stream. But I do appreciate you guys. I really do, man. I mean, this is fun to me. I love it. I enjoy it. So, with that being said, peace.
Peace.
Sometimes I ask God why. Why do you have to take you? Sometimes life just don't